Welcome back from the lunch break. Council, shall we continue when you're ready?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Commissioners and members of the audience. Mr. Kam, kindly bring in the witness, please.
Thank you.
I, Jibril Ngor, MT Seka.
I, Jibril Ngor, MT Seka.
Do swear that.
Do swear that.
I'll speak the truth.
I will speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me Allah.
Mr. Seka, welcome to the TRRC.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Seka, we normally have the proceedings interpreted in one of the local languages. In which language would you like your testimony to be interpreted into?
In Wolof, Council.
The Wolof interpretation booth, are we set?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Seka. You've just taken an oath to speak the truth.
Mr. Seka,
and may I remind you that it is a criminal offense to lie under oath in this country. It is also an offense to provide false or misleading information to the TRRC. You are an NIA officer. We do not have any adverse allegation against you, but it behoves me to also warn you that you have a right not to incriminate yourself.
amuñ fi benn fende bu wone ne dara dugal na la ci mbir yi waaye nag ba tey tam maa ngi laa wéral ne mun ngaa waxte doo dugal sa boppa.
That is not to say that you have not been mentioned in negative light. All I'm saying is that you have not been implicated in the commission of a violation.
nekkul ne nag tuddewuñ la fi loo xam ne wala tudduñ la ci loo xam ne daal lu jaaduwut la waaye daal li ma laa wax rek mooy ne tudduñ la fi dara loo xam ne yaaxa yelleef la.
Ba yaaxa luwa. But the fact that you have a right not to incriminate yourself does not mean that you have a right to lie.
Digala nag lii moom sa yelleef la ne bul wax dara loo xam ne dafa dugal sa bopp waaye nag ba tey tamit du sa yelleef tamit pour nga wax fi lu doonu dëgg.
Do you understand that? Do you understand that? Respond, please.
Very well, very well.
Wow. Thank you very much. I am looking at your statement, Mr. Seka. It is about, well, it's 39 pages and about 35 pages of substance. So it's a lengthy statement.
sa kàddu yi nga bindal nii gis naa ko lu gudda gudda la ndaxte tollu na ci fanweer ak juróom-ñeneenti pages yoo xam ne moom lañ fi amee.
So, and we do not have time to hear all the details of all the things that you can possibly tell this commission.
te nag amuñu waxtu pour lépp loo xam ne bëgg nga koo wax commission bi pour ñu mën koo déggee ci yow amuñ waxtu woowu.
So, we would at some stage admit your statement.
ne léegi-léegi nag li nga xam ne mooy kàddu yi nga bind nii dinañ ko jël dugal ko.
Just as so that I mean, whatever we may miss from your oral testimony because of the lack of time, we can get in your statement.
dinañ ko dugal nag ci kayiti seede bu fekkee ne am na dara loo xam ne moo ñu rëcca ci kàddu yi nga xam ne yaa ngi koo wax ci sa gémmiñ mun nañu dem jublu ci li nga xam ne moom nga binda.
Because we do not have the luxury of time under the current circumstances.
li ko waral nag mooy jamono yiñ toll nii amuñu waxtu woowu yëpp pour waxtaanee lépp loo xam ne moo ëmb ci li nga binda nii.
So I would wish to talk to you about the following topics.
man nag yi ma lim si ne yooyu laa bëgg ñu waxtaanee.
One is the culture of torture in the NIA, torture as a tool to break people down.
benn bi mooy li nga xam ne mooy jumtuwaay biñ jël rek muy di mitital nit ñi di leen bugal foofa ca NIA pour dalal leen wàccee leen.
And in that context, we may talk about a few examples.
ña ci kaw loolu nag dinañ waxtaanee ay misaal yu néew rek.
Say the 1996 Farafenni attack and the torture of the culprits, the rebels, the attackers.
dinañ waxtaanee nag songa ga nga xam ne moom lañ defoon ca Farafenni ak it mitital gi nga xam ne def nañ ko ñooñu nga xam ne ñoom lañ fa jàppoon mu di ay rebel yi.
The torture of Izad Faraj and Musa Diop.
mitital giñ teg ci kaw Issa Faraj ak Musa Diop bi dinañ ko waxtaanee.
Just as examples.
yooyu ay misaal la rek.
And any other one you may know about and you would wish to tell the commission.
ak leneen loo xam ne sax xëj na yow xam nga ko te nga bëgg koo nettalil commission bi.
We would wish to talk about the 2006 Ndur Cham coup d'etat and the arrest, torture and detention of the suspects.
bëgg nañoo waxtaanee tamit li nga xam ne moo di coup d'état Ndur Cham boobu xewoon 2006 ak jàpp boo xam ne jàpp nañ ñi nga xam ne ñoo ci bokkoon ak mitital biñ leen teg.
Including your own arrest and detention relative to this issue, regarding the same issue.
bokk na ci sax yow mii jàpp biñ la jàppoon ci mbir moomu nga xam ne moo xewoon 2006.
And the Daba Marena issue.
ak mbiri Daba Marena.
And your arrest, detention, torture, and final conviction.
ak liñ la jàpp teg la benn béréb ak mitital liñ la teg ak gannaaw boobu nga xamee ne ci la la yoon daan.
Regarding the 2009 alleged Langtombong Tamba coup d'etat.
lu aju ci 2009 coup d'état boobu ñu ne Langtombong ci la bokkoon.
But before all that,
waaye balaa loolu yëpp.
we would want you to talk about the 2005 arrest and detention of migrants from West African countries.
waaye balaa loolu nag dinañ bëgg ñu njëkk a waxtaanee atum 2005 jàpp bi nga xamee ne jàppoon nañ ko ay tukkikat mu di ay doxandeem yoo xam ne ñu ngi leen téye woon te ñu bàyyeekoon ci ay réew yu nekk ci Afrique sowu jant.
These are the topics, the investigations reveal that we should talk to you about.
lii daal ñi doon def gëstu yi lii lañ feeñal ne yii moom lañ war a sukkandiku pour waxtaanee ko ak yow.
Are you prepared to proceed? Are you ready?
pare nga nag pour àggale.
Yes, Council.
Well, Council. Full names, please. Name, full names and residence.
sa tur ak sa sant ak fan nga dëkk.
My names are Jibril Ngur MT Seka.
maa ngi tudd Jibril Ngor MT Seka.
And I live in Bijilo.
maa ngi dëkk Bijilo.
Mr. Seka, could you adopt a comfortable posture?
Okay.
Yes, and position the microphone in a way that you will be comfortable throughout your testimony. And what is your date and place of birth?
I was born in Basse in the month of March,
very March,
on the 18th of March 1963.
Kifan ak juroom ñett ci wéri March 1963.
Where did you go to school?
Fan nga jàngee school?
I started my primary schooling in Kampama, briefly, then to Farafenni Primary School.
maa ngi dooree nag ci Kampama Primary School ci diir bu gàtt ma mujjee dem Farafenni Primary School.
Mohammedan Primary School.
Mohammedan Primary School.
Gambia High School.
Gambia High School.
St. Augustine's Junior Secondary School.
St. Augustine's Junior Secondary School.
And finally Muslim High School.
Mujjentali dem Muslim High School.
That's quite a merry-go-round, Mr. Seka.
Absolutely.
Mr. Seka.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think you're the only one I know who straddles 3 to 4 high schools in Banjul.
High school
anyway, I wouldn't say much about that.
I wouldn't ask any further.
Well, if you wish to.
I will spare us the details. But equally, you went to school in several towns of this country. Basse, Banjul, Farafenni, and possibly many other places. Why is that?
Amna school ci bari yo xamne jaar nga ci nak ci ay dëkk yu bari fi ci biir réew mi Basse, Farafenni, Banjul yépp lu ko waral?
I was born in Basse. My father was a police officer.
Police officer.
He was posted in Basse in 1963 when I was born. Then we were in Bakau, then Banjul. Then I went to Kampama Primary School while he was in Banjul. He was posted in Farafenni in 1969. Or 69, 70 thereabout. Then I also had to go to Farafenni Primary School. Then he was back in 1972, I think. Then I went to Mohammedan Primary School.
Mohammedan Primary School.
That was why I went to these schools.
Great. When did you finish O-level?
O-level?
In 1985.
After 1985.
And in which school?
One school.
Gambia Muslim High School.
Gambia Muslim High School.
What did you do after that?
Immediately I finished school, I joined the police force. Gambia Police
School, police.
And tell us about your career progression very, very briefly, Mr. Seka. Very, very briefly. We have a lot of topics to cover.
After my recruit training in 1986, I was posted at the first as a general duty officer on special duties.
General duty.
On special duties.
On special duties.
Then I was transferred to the then special branch.
Special branch.
After about a year and a half, we were moved to the then National Security Service at the Office of the President.
National Security Service, the Office of President.
Who was affected, you and who?
A lot of us, I think, if I could remember, there was Sergeant Usman Tamba,
Sergeant Usman Tamba,
Sergeant Daba Marena,
Sergeant Daba Marena,
Corporal Basiru Gassama,
Corporal Basiru Gassama,
Corporal Tijan Ba,
Corporal Tijan Ba,
First Class Constable Usman Sidibe,
First Class Constable Usman Sidibe,
Corporal Basiru Gassama,
Corporal Basiru Gassama,
myself, First Class Constable.
Mansusuma Bopu, First Class Constable.
These are the names I can remember for now.
Ñi nak la mëna fatale ko ci jamono ji.
And you joined the NSS in the 80s, pretty much.
Nga bokk ci NSS ci atum 80s.
Either 87 or 88. I think it was in 1988.
Ci boori 87, 88, waaye daal li ma foog daal mooy 88, 1988.
And you continued in the service until the coup d'etat?
Nga continue nag di liggéey ba jamono coup d'etat bi.
Yes, I served as a bodyguard to the former president up to 1994.
Nekkoon naa bodyguard ci ki nekkoon président jamono boobu ba atum 1994.
And then?
Then we moved to the NIA.
Now loolu nag ci la ñu toxu nag ci NIA bi.
Tell us the positions you held in the NIA and the dates.
Wax ñu place yi nga yore woon ci NIA ak bés yi.
I think less than a month after the coup, sometime in August, I was posted at the seaport.
Lu gën a néew nag benn weer gannaaw coup bi ci lañ ma yóbbu nag ci seaport bi.
I can't remember the day.
Ma fàttaliku nag bés bi.
That's fine. Proceed.
And I was the head of the liaison office. I was there alone in the beginning.
Man kenn nag maa fa nekkoon ca njëlbeen nekkoon nag ki nga xam ne maa fa toogaloon buntu liggéeykaay bi foofu.
Then I think 3 other officers were brought in to increase the strength.
Yeneen ñetti officers ñoom itamit indi nañ leen fa.
Then in 1995, December 1995, I think 23rd December 1995, I went back to the NIA headquarters.
Si ñaar fukki fan ak ñett ci weeru December 1995 ci lañ ma toxalaat nag ci makkaan gu mag gi di bu NIA bi.
I was posted at the counter espionage unit.
Ci lañ ma yóbbu nag ci bànqaas bi nga xam ne nii ñooy xeex mbiri yëdu counter espionage.
As assistant officer commanding.
Ki nga xam ne nag moo topp ci kilifa gi ko jiite.
I served for about a year or 2.
Nekk naa fa ci diira benn at wala ñaar.
In 1998, I was posted at the political and religious and political unit.
Ci atum 1998 nag ci lañ ma toxal ci bànqaas bi nga xam ne nii ñooy saytu lu jëm ci mbiri politique ak wàllu diine.
As head of section.
Nga xam ne nii maa ko jiite.
After a year.
Gannaaw benn at.
In 1999.
In 1999.
I was sent to the Foreign Affairs, to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Ci lañ ma yóbbu nag ci ministre bi saytu wàllu doxalini bitim réewi Gambia.
Orientation in preparation to be posted in one of the embassies.
Pour nag waajal nag ci jamono ji nga xam ne dañ ma war a yóbbu ci benn ci embassy yi.
I was there up to 2000. In February 2000, then I was posted to Sierra Leone as second secretary.
Ci jamono boobu nag nekk naa fa ba atum 2000 ci lañ ma yóbbu nag ca Sierra Leone ma nekk assistant secretary.
Second secretary.
Second secretary.
After 4 years.
Gannaaw ñeenti at.
In 2004.
Ci atum 2004.
March 2004.
Ci weeru March.
I came back and I was appointed director of operations.
Ci laa wuññikuwaat nag ñu daldi ma fal di kilifa gi nga xam ne maa jiite bànqaas bi saytu wàllu doxalin yépp lu aju ci wàllu liggéey boobu.
Exactly 2 years later, I was appointed acting deputy director general.
Ci diiram ñaari at rek nag ñu daldi ma fal nag def ma koo xam ne ni maa yaxantu ci ma xamaam ki topp ci jiite buntu liggéeykaay bi.
Consequence to the 2006 abortive coup.
Nga xam ne ni méngaloo nag atum 2006 coup bi nga xam ne ni antuwutoon.
Exactly about a month, no, less than a month. I was dismissed on the 7th. I was arrested.
Ñu dàq ma juróom-ñaari fan diirab lu motut weer ñu jàpp ma.
7th of which month?
7th of April.
juróom-ñaari fan ci weeri April.
2006.
2006.
I was arrested.
ñu jàpp ma.
Subsequently dismissed.
ñu daldi ma dàq tamit gannaaw loolu.
And detained at the Mile 2 Central Prisons.
ñu daldi ma denc nag si kaso bu mag gi nekkee ci yooni Banjul di Mile 2.
We would come into all that. Now, Mr. Seka, you were there at the inception of the NIA.
That is correct.
Can you tell us the major differences between the NSS and the NIA?
Well, it's very vast. At the NSS, it was entirely a professional intelligence collection unit, agency. It was entirely for intelligence collection.
Buntu liggéey kay bo xamné ni nak lu match la won ci lepp lo xamné muy jël ci wali sétal kal lu jëm ci mbiri liggéey service.
All we do was to collect intelligence.
Lepp lu ñu daan def dal moy dajalé ay bataxel yo xamné bataxel
I would call it. Collect information.
Dajalé ay bataxel.
Write reports.
Bind ay report.
It will be collated.
Ñu bolé ko.
Analyzed.
Segg ko.
And disseminated for decision making.
Ñu daldi ko tassaré nak pour ñu dagal ci ay cadeau.
This was that NIA
nak
I think shortly after the inception of the NIA,
dir bu gatt rek ci gannaaw buñ sosé NIA,
there was a unit created called the Investigation Department.
Amon na benn bankas bo xamni nak daldi won nañ ko fa ubi mu ñu tuddé ko Investigation Department di ñuy gestu.
I wouldn't be able to say what was the rationale behind creating that unit.
Mënuma wax nak lan mo waralon nak gannaaw buñ waré dogal ubi bunta bobu.
Then I was already at the port.
Jamono bobu nak man mang ci port bi.
But I believe that was what changed the whole equation.
Ci lool nak yaakaar na dal mo daldi indi wécceku yépp ci lu aju ci wali doxalin bobu.
It was rather collecting information from the bottom to the top. It was information coming from the top to the bottom.
Mr. Seka, that's quite an interesting statement that you make. Could you explain this? Information coming from the top to the bottom and its impact on your work.
Kaddu gogu nga wax na lu am solo la mën nga ko gëna yaatal bu fekkee na wax nga ne xibaar yi moom ca kaw lay jógee wàcc ci suuf ak li nga xam ne noonu la laalee sa wàlli liggéey.
But I believe the regime then had interest on what they wanted to know.
Jamono jooju nag yaakaar naa ne nguur ga fa nekkoon am nañu lu leen aajo soxal lool ci liñ bëggoon a xam.
And all what they were doing was give instructions to the agency.
Te liñ daan def rek mooy joxe ndigal ci buntu liggéeykaay boobu.
Investigate.
ñu gestu.
And report back.
ñu daldi leen wax nag li nga xam ne ni loolu lañ ci jote.
Instead of the agency feeding the executive, it was the executive feeding the agency.
Ndare nag ñi nga xam ne ñun la buntu liggéeykaay bi daan joxe ñoom bataaxel mu jege sax bataaxel bi ñoom ñoo ko daan mujjee jox buntu liggéeykaay bi.
Was that a good thing or was it a bad thing?
Ndax loolu nag yoon bu baax la wala baaxut.
It was actually a very bad thing, I would call it.
Nag lu bon la woon.
How was it bad?
Naka la bone woon.
Would eventually distract the agency entirely from national security issues.
Dama toxal nag li nga xam ne moo nekkoon jubluwaay buntu liggéeykaay boobu ci loo xam ne mu ngi aju ci wàllu kaaraange réew bi.
And that distraction, what did it lead to?
Te loolu nga xam ne moom lañ toxal li di jubluwaay bi nag loolu ci lan la leen yóbbu.
Well, it led to what we are now seeing.
Loolu nag moo tax ñu mujjee ci li ñuy gis ni jamono ji.
Let's not leave it to ambiguity.
Okay.
Let's break it down so that we would all understand what you are talking about. You said the traditional function, the core function of the NSS was pure intelligence gathering. But
That
the NIA became an investigative tool for the executive.
NIA nag mujjee nag ñu nekk ñi nga xam ne ñoom ñoo jumtuwaay bi defal gëstu kilifa ya ci kaw.
Is that the case?
That is correct.
waaw noonu la.
And it was not only official matters of state, but it became an investigative tool for the president.
nekkul li nga xam ne moom lañ soxla pour li nga xam ne mooy jëmal réew mi waaye mu doon jumtuwaay boo xam ne nag jumtuwaay gëstu la pour président bi.
That is correct.
waaw loolu dëgg la.
It was used as his own personal enterprise to get whatever he wanted.
dafa mel ni moom liggéeykaay la boo xam ne rek daf ko jël def ko moomee fi boppam pour am li nga xam ne moom loolu la soxla.
More or less.
waaw lu ëpp loolu.
The NIA would eventually, in fact, become an institution for hire. Anybody who could pay an NIA officer can get them to move and do your own bidding.
NIA nag gannaaw gi mu far mujjee doon loo xam ne rek képp koo xam ne soxla nga mu defal la liggéey rek mu ñëw fay la nga def liggéey bi.
Well, that is correct, but relatively it was not absolute because not everybody was involved in that.
waaw loolu dëgg la waaye nag du ñëpp ñoo si daan yëngatu.
Obviously, not all NIA officers would be involved in that, but the institution itself became reduced to one which could be hired by private individuals to do their own bidding.
waa NIA yëpp day ñoom du ñoom ñëpp a koy def de waaye lu liggéeykat yëpp a koy def foofu NIA waaye NIA ci boppam béréb la boo xam ne dañ ko jël def ko foo xam ne daal ñi nga xam ne bëgg nañoo ñëw am njëkk li mën nañ leen a jël defal ñu defal leen liñ bëgg ñu def.
That is correct, Council.
waaw loolu dëgg la Council.
Citizen A would have a private land dispute against Citizen B, and Citizen A may hire NIA agents to intimidate and bully Citizen B for them to get their own the results that they desire. Isn't that true?
benn doomi réew diw sànga mun naa am jafe-jafe ak keneen moromam mu ñëw jëfoo NIA pour ñu dem ci kooku dal di ko toroxal pour am lim bugga.
Yes, that was the case.
waaw noonu la woon.
And progressively, the NIA, as you said it, lost its focus on national security and concentrated on private dealings of the president and other people who could afford to pay officers.
ca mujjanteel ga sax NIA ñoom la nga xam ne mooy woon seen jubluwaay ci lu leen itteel ci wàlli kaaraange réew mi loolu dafa mel ni dañ teggi yoon woowu daal di jublu nag ci moomeek boo xam ne rek li président bi soxla moom la ñoo def wala keneen koo xam ne doomi réew mi la rek te mun leen a jël dina leen jëfoo.
That is true. That is correct.
loolu noonu la dëgg la.
In implementing the directives of the president, the NIA knew no bounds. They would do anything to get the results he wanted, true or false.
pour doxal li nga xam ne nag moom la président bi bugga ca mujjanteel ba NIA ñoom niñ mujjee wa amul fenn amul benn dayoo ñoom daal li président bi soxla fu mun a toll rek ñoom loolu la ñuy def.
That is correct, Council. It's like when the shepherd runs, the cattle will stampede.
moom ngi mel ni rek daanaka bu fekkee ne sàmm bi daw na rek na yi ñoom dañuy taxaw bañ a jof.
And indeed, stampede they did and trampled upon any individual, every citizen that came into the NIA.
loolu tam dañ ca saaroo dal ci képp koo xam ne bugga nañoo dal ci koo xam ne indi nañ la NIA rek.
That is correct.
loolu la.
And in trampling on us, they have broken our bones,
dal gi ñoo dal ci suñ kaw dama nañ suñuy yax.
amputated our spirits,
dog nañ suñu xalaat.
and scarred our souls.
ragal loo nañ ñu tamit.
They violated our innocence
yaaxa nañ lépp loo xam ne mooy suñu yelleef.
as a people
comme doomu aadama.
because of the untold crimes they have committed against us as a people.
ndég yi nga xam ne ay tafaar la yoo xam ne duñ koy wax dañ teg ko ci suñ kaw ñun doomu aadama yi.
Well, it's rather unfortunate, but it did happen.
waaw noonu la day métti na nag waaye nag lu xew la woon.
And it indeed happened, in fact, from the very early days. In 1996,
mu nga commencé nag ca ndoorte ga atum 1996.
some rebels attacked Farafenni.
am na ay rebelle yoo xam ne songa nañ Farafenni.
How did the government react to this through the NIA agents?
nguur gi ñoom naka lañ jëfee loolu jaarale ko ci NIA.
They reacted very badly.
ci niñ jëfee day jëfin bu bon la.
Excessive force was used on those people.
doole ju jéggi dayoo lañ jëfee ci kaw ñooñu.
But to call it excessive force is in fact to sugarcoat it, is in fact to decorate it with platitudes and niceties. It was wanton and blatant torture, wasn't it?
boone doole gu metti lañu teg ci ñoom sax loolu moom kàddu gu rafet la waaye mettital gu metti ak toroxtaane gu rëy lañ leen teg.
Yes, Council, depending on who is explaining, who is describing it, but yes, I agree.
waaw noonu la d'accord naa waaye nag mu ngi wéeru rek ci ki nga xam ne mooy biral wax jooju.
Let's look at it from the prism, from the point of view of the civilized person. Let's look at it from all norms of civilized behavior.
nañ ko seetee ci ay jëfin yoo xam ne jëfin yu civilisé la nañ ko war a jaarale.
Let's look at it according to the laws of this country.
ñu seetee ko ci anam yi nga xam ne moo méngoo ak luwaa réew mi.
It was plain torture to obtain confession, wasn't it?
ay mbugal ay toroxtaange yu rëy lañ leen teg pour mun a amee ci ñoom kàddu.
That is correct, Council.
waaw noonu la Council.
Balo Kante,
Baalo Kante.
Yaya Drame,
Yaya Drame.
Suleiman Sarr,
Suleiman Sarr.
Omar Diouf Damfa,
Omar Diouf Damfa.
they were all tortured very badly.
ñoom ñëpp mitital gu miti lañ leen fa teg.
True or false?
dëgg wala déet.
Very true, Council.
dëgg la Council.
By NIA officers and other state agents?
te liggéeykati NIA yi ak ñeneen ñi nekk ci bunti kaaraange réew mi ñoo leen ko teg.
Correct, Council.
dëgg la Council.
What do you say to the suggestion that the NIA officers who are entrusted with the responsibility of dealing with these people denied that there were tortures at all?
loolu mun naa wax nag ci bu fekkee ne NIA ñooñu fa doon liggéey ñoom lañ sant ñu jëflante ak nit ñooñu ñoom ñëpp weddi nañ ne am na benn mitital bu ñu leen teg loo wax ci loolu.
Well, I'm 100% sure that even as they were saying this, their conscience would not allow them to rest.
am naa nag gëm-gëmoon sikk ne même bu fekkee ñu ngay wax lii li nekk si seen xol bi daal du loo xam ne ni dal na si seen xel.
You would be shocked, Mr. Seka. They sat there comfortably.
di nga bettu de Mr. Seka foofu nga toog ñoonu ñoom ñu ngi fa toogoon ak àndale ko ak dal gu mu sëkk.
Looked at us in the eyes,
dañu xool ci biir bët.
knowing fully well that they were addressing the Gambian people.
te ñoom óoroon na leen ne ñoom ñu ngi wax a waa doomi Gambia.
And lie they did.
ñu taxaw jàkkaarloo ñun di fen.
Very comfortably.
di fen loo xam ne daal moom dañ ci dal bu baax sax.
What do you say to that?
loo mun a wax ci loolu.
Well, sheer dishonesty.
loolu nekk na nag ñàkk ak njubadi.
So I know for certain
leer na ma ne.
the way those people may have come into that agency was not the way they left the agency.
ñooñu de ni ñëwee woon ci buntu liggéeykaay boobu di agency boobu ne delloo ñoonu.
In whose custody were they entrusted?
ci loxo kan lañ leen tegoon.
Well, starting from the Director General, I think the Director General and obviously the investigation department at the time.
dalee ko ci Director General bi nag ba ci buntu bi nga xam ne ni ñoom ñoo dee gestu.
Who was the Director General?
kan moo nekkoon Director General bi.
Samba Ba.
May his soul rest in peace.
na ko yàlla yërëm.
Who are those leading the investigations?
ñan ñoo jiite woon gëstu yi ñu ci doon def.
The investigation department at the time was headed by Fode Bari.
buntu liggéeykaay boobu nga xam ne ñoo saytu mbiri geste bi ku ko jiite woon nag mooy Fodé Bari.
I think his deputy was Lamin Jobate.
ki ko toppoon mooy Lamine Jobaate.
Then you have the other officers, Babukar Diallo.
nga am na ñeneen ñi ku mel ni Baboucar Diallo.
Lamin, I can't remember the surname, but they used to call his alias is Ninja.
moom nag xamatuma waaye nag ni ñu ko daan ooyee mooy Ninja.
Then other Lamin was Mandas. Those were the investigating
ñeneen ñi ku ñu
officers.
xam Mandas ñoo ñooy ñi nga xam ne ñoo daan gestu.
And there may be other officers who were also assigned to the case, but these were the investigation officers.
mën naa ama nag am na ñeneen ñoo xam ne ebaloon nañ leen ci gestu boobu waaye nag ñii daal ñoo doon gestukat yi.
What if I tell you that Fode Bari said these people were not tortured?
su ma la waxee nag ne Fodé Bari mu ne ñii amul benn mitital bu ñu leen teg.
What do you say?
looy wax ci loolu.
True, he told us the truth or he lied?
dëgg la wax wala dafa fen.
I don't think that was the truth.
foog ma ne loolu mooy dëgg bi de.
But you know that was not the truth.
Certainly that was not the truth, sir.
xam naa ne loolu moom duutoon dëgg ji.
Let's just call it by what it is.
nañ ko ooyee rek lim doon du dëgg.
Lamin Jobate,
Lamin Jobaate.
he said these people were not tortured.
mu ne ñii kenn metitalu leen.
Did he spoke the truth or did he lie?
dëgg la wax wala dafa fen.
No, he lied.
dafa fen.
He did not say the truth.
waxu dëgg ji de.
Salimina Drame, he said he was there. Hari Sambu, he said he was there, and both of them said that these people were tortured. Did they speak the truth or did they lie?
Salimina Drame ak Hari Sambu ñoom ñëpp ñu nga fa woon te ñoom dañ ne ñii ñu ngi leen doon métital ñoom wax nañ dëgg wala dañ fen.
They told the truth.
wax
They
dëgg
said
ji lañ wax.
exactly what happened. Because
Loolu nag
they were
mooy li
there
la xew.
and participated in it.
ñu ngi fa woon te bokkoon nañ ci.
If others are saying they were not tortured, obviously the other group is lying and this other group is saying the truth.
bu fekkee nag ne am na ñeneen ñoo xam ne ñëw nañ gaaral fii de dóoruñu woon leen wala métitalu ñoon ñoom ñu ngi doon fen.
That is your testimony, you who was also one of them.
Yeah.
Not participated, but you are one of them. You work in the institution and that's your testimony.
I was in the institution at the time.
maa ngi woon ci buntu liggéeykaay boobu.
We will, you subsequently came into contact with these people while you were in detention.
gannaaw bi nag ñëw nga nag pour am jokkoo ak ñoom jamono bi nga xam ne yow tam ñu ngi la jàpp.
Yes.
waaw.
At the Mile 2 Central Prisons.
ci kaso gu mag gi nekkee ci yooni Banjul di Mile 2 Central Prison.
Tell us about your encounters with these people.
wax ñu nag sa jokkoo ak ñoom.
All of them, except Suleiman Sarr.
ñoom ñëpp ba mu des Souleymane Sarr.
Particularly Balo Damfa, Balo Sedikan.
surtout nag Mballo Sedikan.
Him, I had lots of interaction with him.
moom nag am na yu bëri yoo xam ne ni jokkoo naa koog moom.
By Balo Sedikan, you're referring to Balo Kante.
Is it?
Balo Kante.
Balo Kante. Balo Kante, not Sedikan.
du Sedikan de Mballo Kante.
Yeah, Balo Kante, yes. He told me he was tortured.
moom wax na ma ne nag ne daldi woon nañ ko méttital.
Suleiman Sarr I saw, but he was in a stretcher at the time.
Souleymane Sarr nag gisoon naa ko waaye jamono boobu mu ci pousse
He had a
pousse.
broken leg,
tànk bu damm la amoon.
and he was not tortured.
waaye nag de méttitalu ñoon ko.
Balo told me he was tortured.
At the time you saw him,
At the time I saw him.
ci waxtu wi ma ko
At the
gisee.
time I saw him.
okay. Did Balo tell you about any gruesome act of torture that was meted out on him?
ndax Balo wax na la benn façon yi métitali buggal boo xam ne teg nañ ko ko moom.
That they used plastic bags,
nee na de dañ doon use mbuusi nylon.
set it on fire,
taal ko.
and dropped it on his skin.
di ko toqal ci yaramam.
That he told me.
loolu moom wax na ma ko.
Did he say to you anything about his nipple?
wax na la dara ci cosam bi.
No, not as far as I can remember.
du ci li ma xam ne loolu laa
I
mën a
don't
fàttaliku.
think he told me, but no.
While in prison, did you hear that his nipple was cut off?
yow ba nga nekkee ca kaso ba ndax dégg nga ne moom cosam bi dañ ko dog.
No.
déedéet.
All right. But he told you he was tortured?
Yes.
waaye wax na la ne métital nañ ko.
waaw.
Yes, he told me.
Now, let's move to 2005.
léegi ñu jàll ci atum 2005.
At this time, what position did you hold?
jamono jooju yow ban na xaama nga yore woon.
I was director of operations.
jamono boobu nag maa jiite woon bànqaas bi saytu wàllu doxalini ak tëddalini buntu liggéeykaay boobu.
And do you recall July 22nd, 2005?
fàttaleku nga ñaar fukki fan ak ñaar weeri July 2005.
Yes, I do, but I think it was 23rd.
waaw yëg naa waaye nag yama fooy daal ñaar fukki fan ak ñett la woon.
I stand to be corrected because on some of the information I have, I saw 23rd.
mën nañ ma jaajante nag waaye nag li bataaxel yi ma gis daal mooy ñaar fukki fan ak ñett.
I remember.
yi ma mun a fàttaliku mooy ñaar fukki fan ak ñett.
But do you recall the festivities of the July 22nd?
waaw fàttewaleku nga xumbeel yi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko doon def.
For
July
2005.
pour
Yes.
2005.
Yes,
Wow.
I remember.
waaw mun naa koo fàttaliku.
Do you recall how the festivities were celebrated?
xamoon nga xew-xew boobu naka lañ ko doon màggalee.
It was a cultural display.
nekkoon nag po am aada.
Where about?
Fan?
At the 22nd July Square.
ci baye bu nekkee ci Banjul ñu xamee ko 22nd July Square.
Otherwise known as?
Makati Square.
ñu xamee ko Makati Square.
How did you come to be involved with the activities of that evening?
Ngoon boobu yow naka nga bokkee woon ci yëngu yi nga xam ne moom lañ fa doon def.
As Director of Operations,
comme ni Director of Operations.
most of the time,
si yoon yu bari nag.
where the president goes to as far as gatherings are concerned.
foo xam ne nag président dafa dem te itamit ci am mbooloo lay nekk.
Most of the time I am there.
lu ci bari nag dama fa dee teew.
And on this occasion I was there.
te ci xew-xew boobu nag maa ngi fa woon.
Tell us what happened.
wax ñu lu xew.
Well, I can't remember specifically what time it was, but at some point at night I left for home.
mënuma xam nag ban waxtu la woon waaye nag ci guddi googu am na benn jamono dama demoon ci kër ga.
dama doon ñibbi. I was on my way home.
maa ngi doon ñibbi.
Around Jimpex or so, the then Director General called me on my phone.
ma ñëwee ba boori Jimpex ki nekkoon borom kër gi Director General bi ci la ma call.
What's his name, the Director General?
naka la tudda
At the time?
Daba Marena.
Daba Marena.
He called me, inquired where I was, and asked me to go to the naval base to meet, if my memory serves me right, the then DG GPTC with a bus to collect some people who were coming from around Bara.
ci jamono boobu nag ci la ma call laaj ma fan laa nekk jox ma ndigal nag na ma wuññeekuwaat ci makkaani manduwaar yi pour tase waa kii DG bu GPTC ak boss pour jël ay nit ñoo xam ne ñu ngi jóge ko boori Bara.
Did he tell you anything about these people?
wax na lu dara ci mbiri nit ñooñu.
No, all he told me was there is a group that is coming from Bara. They are being brought by the Navy, so collect them in the bus.
Take
them to the Kairaba station.
li ma wax rek moo nekk ni de am na ay groupe nit ñoo xam ne nii ñu ngi ñëwee boori Bara di leen ay indi nag mooy soldaari manduwaar yi jël leen yóbbu leen boori Kairaba station.
What else? What did you do after that?
loo def nag gannaaw ndigal boobu.
I called two officers.
oo ñaari officers.
relevant to the operation.
ñoo xam ne méngoo nañ ci biir liggéey boobu.
The head of investigation.
nga xam ne moo jiite buntu bi gestu.
And the head of the liaison office at the ports, at the Gambia Ports Authority.
ki nga xam ne moo jiite ñoom ñi nga xam ne ñoom lañ ebal ci Gambia Ports Authority.
Who are they?
Ousmane Diallo.
Ousmane Diallo.
was head of investigation.
moo jiite woon wàlli gestu bi.
Sadi Gassama was head of the liaison office at the seaport.
Gassama nag moom moo jiite woon nag ci ñi nga xam ne ñoo toog ca ports ba.
And asked them to meet me at the naval base.
ma wax leen nag ñu fekk ma nag ci béréb bi nga xam ne nii mooy makkaani manduwaar yi.
We all converged.
ñu tasee fa.
And shortly afterwards,
ci ab diir bu gàtt nag.
a boat docked.
am gaal gu costé.
belonging to the Navy.
boo xam ne nag Navy gi ñoo ko moom.
with a group of young men mainly, and I think I remember seeing a lady among them.
ñu ànd ak groupe yoo xam ne ay ndaw lañu ñu ci bëri daal góor lañu waaye gis naa ci daal su ma fàttale ko benn jigéen.
As they were coming out of the boat,
ci jamono bi nga xam ne ñu ngi génn ci gaal gi.
a group of soldiers believed to be from the State Guard.
ak groupe soldat yoo xam ne nii ñu yaakaar ne ñu ngi jógee ko ci State Guard.
Because I recognize one of them called Kausu Kamara, otherwise Bombarde.
ndax xamee naa kenn ku ñu xamee Kausu Kamara ñu gën koo ràññee nag ci Bombarde.
Could you tell us how he was dressed?
dañu mën a wax naka la solo woon.
He was dressed in a traditional dress locally called chaya.
mu ngi soloon caaya.
And maybe
Chayas are of different types.
the big one, the big
There is Jatakenda, there is regular Chaya, and there is Chaya Piti.
No, this is the big chaya. This is
No,
the chaya of the Fullers and the Jolas. The
That
big
is
one.
Chaya Piti.
caaya bu mag la bi pël yeeg joolaa yi di sol.
With maybe what I would call a farimbam, a sleeveless sor, with lots of jujus all over.
Ready for a performance?
I think he was performing at the Makati Square, Makati Square, then July 22nd Square. I think he was part of the performance.
And the euphoria continued when he arrived there.
Immediately they arrived, they started seizing these people. I was trying to talk to one of them, and the response was not very pleasant.
How did he respond?
We are on an operation, so I'm not too sure, but then he kind of brushed me aside, as if he was receiving different instructions.
Where did the person come from?
Well, they came from outside and came into the marine.
Which institution did he come from?
This was the group I said, I believed, because of bombardment, came from the State House.
And these people, from whom do they receive their orders?
I believe from the president.
Proceed.
So immediately they came, they seized these people, started manhandling them, kicking. Some of them they could. Then put them in the bus.
Were they accounted for?
They were.
From your recollection, do you know how many there were?
At the Kairaba station, all their names were written. By the grace of God, I have the list.
Manna from heaven. Could you send me the list? Holy cow. Whoa. Could you tell us how this list was compiled?
It was at the Kairaba police station.
Police station.
I wouldn't do anything without procedure. Because my instructions were take them to the Kairaba police station. As soon as we finished doing that, I received another instruction that some of them should be at the Kairaba police station, others to be taken to Baba Job's residence, and the rest to the PIU. During that course, the then ADC Usman Baji called me aside.
What is ADC?
At the camp.
At the camp
of who?
Of the president.
What's his name?
Yaya Jammeh.
What's the name of the ADC?
Usman Baji.
And what did Usman Baji tell you?
Usman Baji
he asked me, where is your DG?
I
told him he should be home. No, I told him he should be in Banjul. So I left him in Banjul. But he was on the phone talking to somebody. Then he asked me my opinion about this group. I told him I think they are illegal migrants. Looking at the way they were. Then he spoke to the person who was on the phone. And later on I left. He did not talk to me again.
Madam.
I continued what I was doing. Perhaps this was the time the officers at the Kairaba station, who I believe were professionals, were taking down the names of the officers. Of the group.
The captives.
The captives. Yeah. This was.
How did you get the list?
I collected it from them. I needed it was to be given to the head of counter-espionage for screening the following morning.
I
called the officer from there, who was Parfai, and asked him to prepare a team to come to the Kairaba station and screen these people to ascertain what they were here for. We departed after receiving those instructions. I cannot remember how much or how many of them were left at the Kairaba station. Some of them were left there. Others taken to Baba Job's residence. The others, well, at Baba Job's residence, that's where I left Kausu Kamara and the ADC.
By Kausu, you mean Bombardier?
Bombardier.
I left them there with this group. Then proceeded outside. Then told Sadi Gassama. Accompanied Biran with the rest to PIU.
In which vehicle?
In the bus.
It is quite astonishing that the GPTC guy who escorted the bus could not even remember going to PIU.
That was what I instructed this guy to do. That was what I did. Whether they reached or they did not, but that was what I did, to the best of my knowledge. Then I put Usman Jallo in my car. He was living in Sukuta.
Who's Usman Jallo?
Usman Jallo was the head of investigation at the time. I drove him to where he lives, around the Sukuta graveyard, where the dumping site. He used to live there. It was late. I told Sari, go with these people since you live around Sukuta, you live around Serekunda. Then Usman, let me drop you, then go home in Bijilo.
Usman suggested that he drove his own car.
This is what I did.
Usman could not even remember leaving anybody at Kairaba.
Maybe he has missed the facts, but I definitely, for some reason, this is miraculous, I definitely had a feeling and belief that one day something like this will happen. And there are people that I told, not specifically, that whatever we're doing, one day, sometimes I would go and give a statement. If it is not investigated today, one day it will be investigated. Maybe those people are hearing me and can attest to what I'm saying. I wouldn't say I know specifically that this was going to happen, but I had a belief, my faith in my religion made me believe that someday something like this will happen. This is what I did as far as I know.
And what happened the next day?
The following morning, because I went to bed very late, I overslept. I received a call. From the liaison officer in Tangi. I cannot remember for now.
moo nekkoon ki ñu toogaloon ca Tànje te ku ma fàtte naa turam.
who called me and said there are corpses around the Ghana town at the forest.
la ma wax ne ma day am na ay niw yoo xam ne mu ngi ci boori ci Ghana town ci boori foore bi.
I drove off. I just got up, dressed.
ci la jóg rek solu.
Drove to Ghana town.
daw dem Ghana town.
Went and saw these corpses.
ma dem gis nag niw yi.
Shortly afterwards, they were put on board an ambulance.
gannaaw loolu tuuti rek ñu dal di leen dugal ci benn ambulance.
Who made that arrangement, I don't know.
ku def nag mbir moom ku ko sottal xaw ma ko.
And they left for Banjul.
ñu dal di continuer dem Banjul.
I think when I was still, thank you. I think when I was still in Budfoot, the head of counter-espionage called me.
yaakaar naa ba ma nekkee Budfoot ba tey rek ak ki nga xam ne ni moo jiite woon buntu bi saytu wàlli xam yëdu counter-espionage woo ma.
And said he is at the Kairaba, but he was told that a particular sergeant received 8 people from the group.
ci la ma wax ne maa ngi Kairaba waaye nag am na benn sergeant boo xam ne ni jël na ci ñooñu lu dem ci juróom-ñett ci ñoom.
I'm not sure whether he was from the army or the police.
xam ndax nag moom ci police gi la jógee wala ci army bi.
Immediately he told me that.
gannaaw bu ma waxee loolu rek.
Looking at the corpses,
ci bu ma gisee nag niw yi.
I concluded,
ci la sottal ci suma
for
xelaat.
some reason,
ne ci ay yenn dogal.
that this may be the same group that was removed from the Kairaba.
lii xëy na mooy groupe gi nga xam ne ñoom lañ génnee ci Kairaba.
There and then I told him, I think we are not in control of this, let's stay out of it.
ci jamono boobu nag ci laa ko nekk daal dafa mel ni lii nekkul loo xam ne ñun ñoo ko saytu kon nañ ci seetal suñu bopp.
That was the last thing I knew about this.
boobu mooy lu mujjee ci loo xam ne ni xam naa ko ci mbir yi.
What did you do with the list that you took?
tur yi nga jël noonu loo ko defee.
It was home, but really I just saw it when I was just released in 2015.
mi woon ci kër gi nag waaye nag.
All my documents were packed in one box.
gannaaw buñ ma bàyyee nag ci laa ko.
How did I just missed it? I can't remember.
ni ma ko réeré woon daal fàttale ko.
But I saw it in my documents.
waaye ci laa ko gis ci suma kayit yi.
And I took it and gave it to somebody for safekeeping,
ci laa ko jël nag jox ko nit pour mu dencal ma.
knowing that one day this will happen.
nag ma xam nag ne benn bés lii dana xew.
Well, happen it did.
waa de xew na de.
Ooh. Mr. Chair, may I approach?
You may proceed.
Yes, Mr.
After
Seka,
consultation, it's okay.
you have the list.
Mr. Seka Touré yaa ngi ko amee.
Kindly tell us the date of the document.
Mun nga ñoo wax ban bés lañ ko binda.
This looks like 23rd.
Ni mu ngi mel ni ñaar fukki fan ak ñett.
Perhaps it was the timing also.
Yes. Just read out the date first. 23rd what?
23rd July 2005.
ñaar fukki fan ak ñett ci weeru July atum 2005.
There is a time written adjacent to the date, after the date. There's a time that is written just after the date.
Waxtu biñ ko binda
The same line.
Along the same line. No,
No.
just after the date.
No.
There is something written just after the date. After 23rd July 2005, there's something written.
I think perhaps it's the extension of the 5.
No,
That's
look
what
at
I
it.
think.
Look at it carefully. Please, don't zoom into documents and show them unless and until we direct you do so. Please, please don't do that. Because if the document is treated as confidential, you would have already disclosed it by showing it on TV. You understand? Thank you very much.
Yeah, continue
okay.
ascertaining that.
Hold a second.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean. So that's the continuation of the date, 23rd July 2005. I thought it was time.
Yeah,
but the events, the celebration started on 22nd.
That is correct.
waaye xew xumbeel gi mu ngi commencé ñaar fukki fan ak ñaar.
At night.
At night.
And the events continued until the 23rd, which is the early hours of the morning.
Maagal gi continue nag ba ca ñaar fukki fan ak ñetta muy ca ëllëg sa ca suba teel.
That is after midnight, pretty much.
Loolu gannaaw xaaji guddi la.
It may not necessarily be the festivities, but our activities.
Yes, your activities.
Yeah, Council, before you proceed, let him just confirm that line is where now that you have some understanding of that. Let him confirm that after 23rd July,
Yes.
whatever is...
Yes, whatever it...
Confirm it for the record.
That follows is what?
Yeah, I believe it's an extension of the 5.
Yes.
So what 5?
So what is the document?
It's a list of those who were arrested that day. On the 22nd or 23rd of July 2005. Well, I would call them illegal migrants.
2005.
It's not conclusive, really, but
what details is recorded?
Name, nationality, and date.
How many people are on the list?
51.
Mr. Chair, with your permission, I'll ask that the witness reads out the names. I know these are not Gambian names. The pronunciation may be slightly different, but read it out as best as you can. Please go ahead.
Yeah, and do it slowly.
This looks like Odzei Odro Kousi.
From which country?
Togo list. But there is an X. I don't know what that means.
All right, proceed.
Luca Esperant, Congolese. Suleiman Abdullahi, Ghanaian. Bright Antway, Ghanaian. Kwaku Amtui Ajiekum, Ghanaian. Kasim Amadou, Ghanaian. Kwaku Apia, Ghanaian. Benjamin
Kobna,
Kopna, Ghanaian. Nketia Eric, Ghanaian. Kwadwo Amadou or Ampadu, Ghanaian. Richard Bokye, Ghanaian. Edmond Kumi, Ghanaian. Peter Asiri, Ghanaian. Kwadgo Antwi, Ghanaian. Kiere Martin, Ghanaian. Peter Mensa, Ghanaian. Emmanuel Nati, Ghanaian. Kiere is visible. The other name is not visible.
Yao
Kiere, Ghanaian. Asante Isaac, Ghanaian. Quaranteng Marcel, Ghanaian. Marciel Tawia, Ghanaian. Peter Achina, Ghanaian. John Carson, Ghanaian. Nelson Frimpong, Ghanaian. Faith Sheet, Ghanaian. George, yes, George Amu, Ghanaian. Aruna Mensa, Ghanaian. Mohammed Bayo.
Is it Mensa or Musa?
Musa, Ghanaian. Mohammed Bayo, Ghanaian. Johnson Ajiere, Ghanaian. Joseph Mensa, Ghanaian. Juju Mengs, Ghanaian. Richard Body, Ghanaian.
Is it Richmond?
Richmond, yeah, Richmond Body, Ghanaian. By Daniel, Ghanaian. Samuel Solomon, Sierra Leonean. Hassan Conte, Sierra Leonean. Adea Kofi,
Ivory Coast.
Julian Maku, Ghanaian. Yawi Mens, Ghanaian. Awa
Pound,
Ghanaian. Osei Daniel, Ghanaian. David Gibson, Liberian.
Mamadou
Korka Diallo, Senegalese. Waku JK Awa Muful, Ghanaian. Tano Janet, Ivorian. John Ameze, Nigerian. Ismail Lakon, Senegalese. Abegbo Yahweh, Togolese. James Okiere, Ghanaian. Idrissa Toure, Sierra Leonean. Manila Alpha, Ghanaian. Isaac K. Amo, Ghanaian.
How many names?
51.
Mr. Chair, I ask to put this list in evidence, and it should be Exhibit 2,000. 200, I mean to say.
A request granted.
Certainly the value is higher than 2,000.
Request granted. Yeah, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Witness. It's very helpful indeed.
After you saw these 8 bodies at Woodford, whereabout did you say?
At
the crossroad, the one leading to the beach side and the one going into Ghana town. Just behind, I think there is either a police station around that vicinity.
So this happened close to Ghana town. Pretty much it's only the road separating Ghana town from the bush where the bodies were found.
Dafa melni dafa dend ak Ghana town dafa melni dal yoon wi rek mooy xaajale Ghana Town ak ci àll bi nga xam ne foofu lañ leen fekk.
That is correct.
waaw noonu la.
You are a top investigator. You have a lot of experience in intelligence issues.
am nga xam-xam lool ci nga xam ne moo aju ci mbiri ay gëstu.
Do you have a theory, a reason why these bodies were in fact found just a stone's throw away from Ghana Town?
ndax am nga dara loo xam ne ci nga mën a sukkandiku lu mën a wane lan moo tax ba niw yi ñu fekk leen foo xam ne rek sorewul sax ak Ghana Town.
That would be difficult, Council.
dana jafe.
Let me try.
dama jéem.
Okay.
To disguise the fact that these people were arrested from elsewhere, to make it look like these are just Ghanaians who may have been killed as a result of something that happened just across the road, Ghana Town.
loolu mooy rek pour laxatu dañ ne ñoom jàppuñ leen woon pour wane rek ne nit ñi foog ne ñii dañ leen reyee fi nga xam ne soriwul sax muy Ghana Town.
Well, perhaps yes, it makes sense to some people, yes.
That's plausible, isn't it?
Yes, it's a plausible denial.
But when you saw these bodies, it immediately occurred to you that this could be, in fact, Ghanaians who are among those who were arrested.
Ba nga gisee niw yi rek ndax xam naa ñàkkul xalaat nga ne ñi day mun naa am ne waa Ghana yi nga xam ne bokkoon nañ ci ñi jàppoon lañ.
Immediately no, until I receive this information from Mr. Faye.
What message did you receive from Mr. Faye?
Mr. Faye ban xibaar nga jotee ci loxoom.
That he went to the Kairaba station. Just to be informed that 8 people were collected from the group.
Did he say who took them?
I think he told me a sergeant, whether a sergeant from the police or from the army, I cannot remember. It's been a long time. This is quite honestly miraculous.
Police la wala si soldar gi la joge.
He told me it was a sergeant.
And of course, the number of corpses you saw were
8.
So that raised the suspicion in your head
and the way they were dressed too.
So what conclusion did you arrive at?
All I said was, this must be the same people that were arrested and taken to the station. Since we couldn't do what we are asked to do, then let's stay out of it as an institution. It was my decision.
And you stayed away from it?
And I stayed away from it.
Well, thank you. The list saved itself.
Alhamdulillah.
And here we are, thank God. We hope that the family members of these victims would be able to find some degree of closure, that this is perhaps the fate that has befallen their loved ones.
Santa Yàlla alhamdulillah bañ jotee tur yi nga xam ne moom nga ñu jox nii loolu dina tax sax mun a dimbale seeni mbokk ñu mun a xam ne fi mu nekk nag ñu gëm ne lii daal mooy li nga xam ne moo daloon seen ay nit.
Let's move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Your Director General.
Yes.
Was Daba Marena at the time?
Yes. My Director General was Daba Marena.
Did you report to him?
I did the following day.
Wow.
Because it was a weekend. I did the following day during our briefings, our morning briefings.
Si benen bés mi nag si jamono bi nga xam ne ci dañuy xëy daje.
I reported exactly what I saw.
Ci laa ko wax nag yëpp li nga xam ne loolu laa gis.
In our morning briefings.
Si suñ dajoo bi nga xam ne moom la ñuy waxtaanee si suba gi.
Very well. Captain Sen was even the one asking questions. I remember.
maa ngi fàttaliku sax capitaine Sen moo nekkoon ki nga xam ne moo doon laajte.
Did all of you arrive at some conclusion as to the relationship between the arrests and the deaths that were ultimately discovered?
yéen ñëpp ndax mujjee woon ngeen nangu toog nag li bi nga xam ne ñoom lañ jàpp ak ñi mujjee gis.
I can't even remember going into analyzing.
man sax foog naa mënuma fàttaliku sax ndax àgg nañ fu ñooy seggee mbir yi wala ñu koy waxe.
But in 2006, just less than a year later,
gannaaw loo xam ne sax matut at.
a coup d'etat was foiled.
am na coup d'état boo xam ne yàqoon
Ndur Cham coup d'etat.
muy coup d'état bu Ndur Cham ba.
Yes, that is correct.
waaw loolu am na dëgg la.
Can you tell us what happened and how you came to be involved?
ñu mën a wax li xew ak yow naka nga ci duggee.
Yes, Council, I was on leave.
Well, Council, jamono boobu maa ngi woon si leave.
I traveled out of this country around the 24th of February 2006.
dama tukki woon génnoon réew mi ci boori février atum 2006.
I went to Spain.
ci laa demoon Spain.
Spent two weeks.
ma am fa ñaari bés yu ay.
I was suffering from a herniated disc at the time.
dafa amoon naa gàllankoor daal.
I was suffering from a herniated disc which I wanted to treat in Spain during this period.
amoon naa benn feebar daal boo xam ne bëggoon naa ko faj ca réewi Spain ci waxtu woowu.
That was not why I went. I was invited by a friend.
duutoon nag loolu moo taxoon ma dem ndax amoon naa benn xarit boo xam ne moom ma fa fegoon.
After 2 weeks,
gannaaw ñaari bés yu ay.
he told me he was coming back to the Gambia.
ci la ma waxoon ne maa ngi dafa ñib si waa fii si Gambia.
And since he was the only one that I know in Spain,
ndegam nag moom rek moo nekkoon koo xam ne nii xam naa ko ca réewi Spain.
leaving me there would be very boring.
pour bàyyi ma fa nag foofa dana nekk daal loo xam ne nii dana ma tayaloo.
He asked me if I have any friend or family whom I can spend the rest of my holiday with in any part of Europe.
ci la ma laaj ndax am naa benn mbokk boo xam ne nii mën naa nekk ak moom li ci li des ci suma noppaleku bu foofu ci biir réewi tugal yi.
During the course of thinking who and where,
xalaat kan ak fan.
I was called by a friend called Malik Kamara.
ci la ma suma benn xarit ku ñu xamee Malik Kamara call.
I explained to him the circumstances.
ci laa ko waxal nag nekkin ba.
And told him that I was even sick and wanted to do some treatment, wanted some attention or intervention in my health situation.
ci laa ko waxoon ne ko sax de dama feebar te bëggoon ndimbal lu aju ci suma wàlli wér-gu-yaram.
He told me that his wife is a doctor, that I can go to Germany and stay with him.
ci la ma wax nag ni ma soxnaam daal docteur la woon te mënoon naa dem Germany nekk ak moom foofa.
I talked to my friend who bought a ticket, then I went to Germany.
ci laa wax ak suma xarit bi mu jëndal ma ticket ma daal di dem Germany.
Whilst in Germany, just to sum it up,
ci ma nekkee Germany pour ñu gàttal rek.
on the 21st of March,
ñaar fukki fan ak benn ci weeri March.
I was called and informed that there was an abortive coup.
ci lañ ma téléphone wax ma ne daal am na benn coup boo xam ne nii ñu ngi ko doon togg waaye antuwut.
In fact, the first call was to congratulate me on my appointment.
benn sax bi de call bi moo nekkoon pour oo ma ndokkale ma ci suma tànneef.
To acting deputy director general.
xam ne nii maa doon yaxantu ci kii maqaamaam ki topp ci directeur général bi.
Then I was told about the coup.
ci lañ ma wax itamit lu aju ci mbiri coup boobu.
Well, I wasn't happy.
na kontaanuma woon itamit nag.
Because I was thinking of, quite honestly, getting out of the job and do something else.
ndax boo wadee maa ngi doon xalaat nu may génne ci liggéey bi def leneen.
All the same, I continued with my treatment.
waaye nag dama continué woon rek ak suma faju gi.
At some point, the doctors couldn't reconcile my age to the state of my health because I had a pelvic deformity as a result of a herniated disc.
ci feebar boobu nag docteur yi mënu yoon a méngale li nga xam ne mu ngi jëm ci suma at bi ak li nga xam ne mu ngi jëm ci suma paj jamono jooju.
And I couldn't remember that I fell down.
te jamono boobu daal mënuma fàttale ko ne daanu woon naa.
So they couldn't associate it to anything, so I was given an appointment. I requested for a month.
ci jamono jooju amuñ dara luñ koy mën a méngale ci la bindoon.
The then Director General called me, I think about twice, Mr. Harry Sambu.
ci ki nga xam ne moo nekkoon Director General bi nag jamono jooju woo na ma ñaari yoon Harry Sambu.
To say that he couldn't do anything because he doesn't have an institutional memory.
ci kaw loolu nag ci la ma wax ne mënu am dara lu moo def ndax amutoon nag loo xam ne nii xel mu selental la ci wàlli liggéey ba.
Since my leave was coming to an end,
ndax xam jamono bi nga xam ne su ma noppaleku bi sax mu ngi doon waaj a jeex.
I told him I was coming back, I think 2 days later.
ci laa ko wax ne ko maa ngi ñibbisi si diiram ñaari fan daal gannaaw loolu.
Against the will of a lot of people, they thought I was committing suicide.
ci loo xam ne daal neexutoon ñu bëri ndax ñu bëri foogoon nañu damay xaru si.
But I thought I was committed to my work.
waaye nag yaakaaroon naa rek dama nekkoon ko xirtu nag si suma liggéey.
To my country.
suma réew.
And I had a clear conscience.
te itam man amoon naa xel mu set.
So that was why I came back.
loolu moo taxoon ma ñëw.
Wednesday before, I think a week, I arrived here on Thursday.
yaakaar naa maa ngi fi agsi bési alxames.
The following Wednesday,
si beneen alarba bi.
I organized a meeting. I told the DG that there is need for us to sit as directors and at least restore sanity.
ci la oote nag meeting ci la wax directeur bi nag ne comme ñun ay directeur yaakaar naa war nañoo toog delloo nag cet ci biir liggéey bi.
Was there chaos?
Yes, there was.
Tell us about it.
When we met, in fact, one of the officers then, Fodebari, refused to be part of it.
ñenn kenn nag ci officers yu foofu ku mel ni ki Fodebari moom bañoon na. pour teew.
I didn't know there was a difference between him and the Director General.
waaye nag xamoo ne féewaloo amoon na diggante moom ak Director General bi.
But I convinced him all the same.
waaye nag daldi woon naa ko xirtal nag.
We converged in the Director General's office.
dañ tasee ci office Director General bi.
Mr. Seka, tell us about the chaos that existed before it became necessary for you to try to sort out the situation.
All right.
wax ñu jaxasoo ba nga xam ne moo fa xewoon balaa nga doon saafaraal mbir yi.
In fact, there was nothing to sort out. As soon as we started the meeting, there was chaos.
amul dara luñ fa doon jéem a defal bañ dooree meeting bi rek coow li door.
There was argument between the DG Harry Sambu and Fodebari.
werante moo nekkoon diggante Director General bi ak di Harry Sambu ak Fodebari.
And Fode walked out of the office.
ci la Fode génn office bi.
So the meeting couldn't hold.
meeting bi nag mënutoon na continue.
There was nothing significant that we did.
amul dara loo xam ne ni amoon na solo ci liñ def.
We dispersed.
ñu tasaaroo.
I think later in the evening, Fode told me on phone.
yaakaar naa ci ngoon googu ci la ma Fode wax ci téléphone.
In his words, sumaraka waxoon naa la ne duma attend meeting bi.
My brother, I told you that I will not attend this meeting.
Boy bi dafa yabaate. That was Harry.
This boy is not respectful. That is Harry.
So I couldn't understand.
Manuma xam nag.
Later on at night.
ci gannaaw loolu nag ci guddi gi.
I think early hours of the night.
ci njëlbeeni waxtu yi ci guddi gi.
I received a call from one of the operatives at the communications room.
ci laa jot nag benn bataaxel ci mu tukkee ci kenn ci ñi nga xam ne ñooy liggéey ci buntu bi saytu wàlli jokkoo bi.
It's called the ops room.
ñu xamee ko ops room.
I cannot remember his name.
Manatuma xam kan la.
He called me that I should report to the office. He was asked by the DG for me to report to the office.
ci la wax ne directeur bi moo wax ne naa dem ca office ba.
Stage. Let's talk about the chaos that really engulfed this office at the time.
nañ wax mbiri jaxasoo boobu nga xam ne moo amoon ca office ba jamono boobu.
I think it's worth noting. When I came on that Monday, I think the Monday that I reported to the office, either Thursday or Monday.
altine bi ma ñëw nag ci office boobu niki altine wala alxames.
What I saw, I couldn't understand.
li ma gis nag daal mënuma ko jàpp.
I went into the conference room.
la dem si conference room bi.
I found Adama Dean.
La fekk foofu Adama Dean.
The then DG, MD
Gambia
GPA.
Ports Authority.
Ki nga xam ne moo nekkoon MD Gambia Ports Authority.
In cuffs.
ñu ko ceene.
With a suit.
mu ngi soloon suit.
As if he was coming from work.
comme ni daal mu ngi jóge ko ci liggéey bi.
And was testifying. He was like being asked about his coup.
maanaam daal mu ngi doon wax li nga xam ne ni mu ngi jëm ci wàlli coup bu antuwut boobu.
You mean he was in handcuffs?
Yes, he was in handcuffs, putting his hand on top of the table.
waaw dañ ko ceene woon jël loxo mi teg ci kaw table bi.
What do you say to the suggestion by members of that panel that nobody appeared before the panel in handcuffs?
loolu mun a wax nag ci ñi bokkoon ci panel boobu ne ñu amut kenn kuñ teewal ci seen kanam koo xam ne ceene woon nañ loxoom yi.
Not in this case.
nekkul nag ci case bi
That would be a lie.
bon booba fen la.
Well, certainly yes.
waaw.
Proceed.
Because I saw it myself.
gisal naa ko suma bopp.
I couldn't understand. Then I left. As I was leaving, I think Fode was teasing me. Adanga daw.
bi ma doon génn nag yaakaar naa Fode was teasing me saying that you are running away.
I went down.
ci la wàcc ci suuf.
Found Uncle Antuman Gay.
la fekk Uncle Antuman Gay.
In the same manner.
ci men anam gi.
In cuffs.
ci ak ceen.
A soldier was standing in front of him with a weapon.
benn soldat muy taxawoon ci kanam ak ngànnaay.
I couldn't control myself. I just sat next to him.
mënuma control suma bopp nag ci la toog
Then
dendeg
I asked him, Uncle, lu xew?
ci la I asked him, Uncle, what happened?
He said, son, ñun de lii lañ gis.
Son, this is what we see.
And I left and went to my office.
ci la jóg dem dal di dem suma office.
Since I was coming from Germany,
comme maa ngi jóge ko Germany.
and was not involved in anything that happened,
boolewuñ ma ci dara loo xam ne nii xew na.
I went to my office,
ci la dem ca suma office.
hoping that a report will be submitted to me.
yaakaar nag ne danañ ma àggale benn report.
But little did I know that I was going to be arrested.
ci lu néew nag loo xam ne xam naa ko ne daal moo nekk ne dañ ma doon war a jàpp si.
I did
So
not.
what was this chaos that you were organizing this meeting for? What was the purpose of the meeting that you had organized?
Yeah, because I wanted us to sit as directors, because Fodebari was just coming in, Baba Saho was just coming in, and I was the Deputy Director General. I thought it necessary for us to sit and at least restructure or chart the way forward, some kind of, at least.
maanaam daal jéem a seetaat nga xam ne ni noonu la ñuy xàlle yoon njëm kanam ndax jamono boobu Fodebari mu ngi dugg si Baba Sakho noonu.
was coming back to the agency.
ñoom ñu ngi doon dellu si waat si buntu liggéeykaay boobu.
But nothing specific that warranted that meeting. I just thought we should at least sit as directors and at least, how would I put it, either restore sanity or discuss as to...
But at this time, lots of tortures were going on at the NIA.
waaye jamono jooju ay metital yu bari mu doon xew foofu ci NIA.
Quite honestly,
waaw.
I did not see one.
pour nag ci wax dëgg moom gisuma woon benn.
I've never sat in that panel except once.
musuma toog si panel boobu lu benn yoon.
And I was made to understand by the detainees afterwards in Mile 2 that the torture was going on at night.
te tamit nag ñi nga xam ne ñoom lañ fa jàppoon wax nañ ma ne jamono boobu dóori wala métital yi ñu ko doon def guddi.
I did not see.
But the panel sat often at night.
waaye panel bi li ci ëpp yëpp ñoom li ñoo daje guddi lay doon.
I wouldn't know. In my case, yes.
duma ko xam ne ci suma mbir nag moom
There are instances that I saw them sit during the day.
ci suma waxtu nag gis naa jamono boo xam ne dañuy toog si bëccëg bi.
I definitely wouldn't know whether they were sitting at night.
duma xam ne ndax nag daal dañ daan daje guddi.
For how long were you here after your return before you were arrested?
ba nga ñibbisi waatee ñaata fan nga fi toog balaa ñu laa jàppa.
5 or 6 days.
lu dem si juróom ba juróom benni fan.
Kindly explain the sequence of events that led to your arrest.
waxal ñu mbir yi naka la toppalantee ba bañ laay jàppee.
I was at home on this fateful Wednesday. between the 6th and the 7th, because I think it was late at night, say the 7th.
maa ngi toogoon suma kër ci bési àllarba bi di diggante juróom-benn waxtu ak juróom-ñaar.
Okay, let's do it this way.
xaaral ñu defee ko nii.
Harry Sambu was also new in the agency as Director General.
Harry Sambu tam dafa beesoon ci liggéeykaay bi nekk fa Director General.
Correct?
Yes, he was new.
Waaw.
Where was the previous Director General?
Director General bu jëkk balaa moom fan la nekkoon.
I saw him on Saturday.
Gis naa ko bési samedi.
How?
Naka.
Under what conditions?
ci yan anam.
He was okay.
Dara dal toon ko.
In fact, when he saw me, he asked me, "Ngor muntuma lay nata."
When he saw me, asked me, Ngor, when did you come?
And who are you referring to?
Daba Maren.
ku la wax loolu.
Daba Maren.
Under what circumstances did you see him?
I saw him the same way I left him.
Gis naa ko nag ci anam goo xam ne ni ma ko bàyyee woon.
Was he still Director General when you saw him?
bi nga ko gis moo nekkoon Director General boobu.
No, he was not Director General anymore. Harry Sambu was already appointed as Director General.
déedéet booba nekkuloon Director ndax booba tànn nañ Harry Sambu.
I think he was brought in from mile 2.
yaakaar naa boobu ñu ngi ko jëlee mile 2.
Whether it was that day,
ndax bés boobu la woon.
but it was the day I saw him.
ndax mooy bés bi ma ko gis.
So he was under custody?
ñu mel ni jamono fekk nañ ko jàpp.
Yes, he was coming out of the hall, the conference hall, I think going to the toilet or so. It was just around that corridor that I saw him.
jamono boobu maa ko gis ci corridor bi rek jógee ko ci conference hall bi di jëm ci wanag bi.
He was arrested. He was
already arrested.
boobu fekk na jàpp nañ ko.
And what was he arrested in connection to?
jàpp biñ ko jàppoon moom lu ko waraloon.
He was accused of being part of the foiled coup.
dañ ko jàppoon ne daal moom bokkoon na ci coup bu antuwut boobu.
So when you arrived, did you subsequently hear anything about him?
ba nga egg here nag ndax déggoon nga dara loo xam ne mu ngi aju ci moom Daba Marina.
After that day,
Yes.
gannaaw loolu. bés boobu.
he testified in my presence. He talked to the panel. I was sitting down.
wax na ci kanam panel bi boobu maa ngi toog.
And all he said was definitely to me convincing that he was not part of this.
mu ngi doon wax nag loo xam ne daal wane na moom bokkutoon ci.
And what happened to him subsequently?
gannaaw bi nag la na ko dal.
I think either the Tuesday or Wednesday I was arrested, I heard on the news that he escaped with some other officers.
yaakaar naa ni ki talaata bi wala àllarba bi biñ ma jàppee ci laa dégg ci xibaar yi ne daal dafa rëcc ak ñeneen.
Before your arrest or after your arrest?
Before my arrest.
balaa maa jàpp.
It was announced a day before my arrest.
ko yéebaane balaa ñu may jàpp.
Because I was arrested on Tuesday, so he must have been the announcement must have been either on Monday or Tuesday.
ndax man
thereabout.
talaata lañ ma jàpp te kon yéebaane boobu mun naa amaat daal.
I even remember visiting his wife.
ndax mën naa fàttaliku it demoon naa nemmeeku ji soxnaam.
This is somebody who was a mentor.
nekkoon na koo xam ne daal.
Up to the time this thing happened, I know nothing about him apart from professionalism.
ba ji jamono bi amul dara lu ma xam si moom lu mooy màcc ak liggéey.
I just thought it necessary as a human being and as a colleague to go and visit his wife.
tamit jàppoon naa rek ne daal nekk na lu war a am pour daal ni ab xarit nawle boo xam ne maa ngi liggéey moom ma dem nemmeeku ci soxnaam.
And I was not going to stop at his wife. I was going to Balajo's wife and Singate's wife.
du ma doon em rek si soxnaam rek naa doon dem si soxna si Balajo ak Singate.
Who are these people?
Balajo was the then deputy director external.
Balajo moo nekkoon ki nga xam ne moo nekkoon ci bànqaas bi doon séntu lu jëm ci wàllu bitim réew external affairs.
And Aliou Singate was director of internal security.
Aliou Singate nag moo doon ki nga xam ne moo jiite woon bànqaas bi saytu woon wàllu kaaraange biir réew.
All of them were apprehended.
All of them were, yes, all of them were apprehended.
The Director General, Director Internal and Director External were all arrested.
All of them were arrested.
Interesting.
At that time.
We have seen this happen again. When Fodebari and Baba Saho were also arrested. Director External, Director Internal, both arrested. But anyway, that's the way it happens here. So you went to visit Daba's wife. What happened afterwards?
I think it's also important to clear this belief that people have. At that time, I knew nothing about Daba. I didn't know that he escaped. Neither did I know that he was killed. But I heard people saying that I went there to inform his wife that he was killed. And that was why I was arrested. That was not true. Ordinarily, I would not have even done that in my wildest dreams. Then I would definitely offer explanation. That did not happen. I just went there as a human being, and I was working with her husband. Nothing more.
But when did you hear that Daba had escaped?
This was on Tuesday. I think I went there on Monday, 4th of April. So I remember coming from the Senegalese independence celebration at the reception was at Cape Point. I was from there, then I passed by. Fifth, I think on the 5th, then I had this news. On the 6th, I was arrested.
How did you come to hear this news?
I was in my car at 6 o'clock. Coming from the office, going to my house and to I think I even decided to go to Cape Point direct. It was around the traffic light. But I received a call from one of the officers. Sir, have you heard what happened? Are you listening to news? The news is saying DG ran away. I did not listen to that news, but the 10 o'clock news, I listened to it. That was how I came to know about it. I believe the following day, Fodebari called and asked me if the DG has told me about Daba's situation. Either before that or after that. And I told him no. He said as his deputy he should have told you. He did not. I told him he did not. And that's all I knew about Daba's issue.
Did you raise any questions about that? About Daba's escape or disappearance?
I did not. Perhaps I would have done that, but I was arrested, like I said, on the same day. Perhaps I would have done that. But I just took it maybe to be true.
Did you have a meeting with anybody wherein concerns were raised as to how Daba may have escaped and things like that?
No meeting
No. Did it? So how were you arrested? And let's try to condense this.
I was home, like I said, and I was called by an officer and told me the DG asked me to report to the office. As I was preparing, second call came that I should have been there by, let me quote him. The DG said you should have been here by now. I immediately called him, the Director General Harisambu, asked him whether he has asked the officer to call me. Before I finished, he said, go to the office.
Before I finish, he said, "Gorgi, let's meet at the office."
Then I just prepared and left. At the Badala petrol station.
Badala petrol station.
As soon as I passed the petrol station,
petrol station direct.
My reserve light came on. Then I returned to the petrol station by fuel. Whilst there, Nuru Seka called me. Nuru was my deputy. He was the deputy director of operations at the time. Asked me if I was sleeping. I told him where I was. And I think he must have spoken to somebody who told him to ask me to wait for them. So I was waiting. When they came, he descended from the vehicle. He disembarked from the vehicle. Came to me alone. As he was talking to me, I heard somebody telling him, allow him to drive his car. And I drove off. They followed me. We went straight to Banjul. Then went to the conference hall. Some strange occurrences happened that made me suspicious. But I couldn't place it on anything. So I went in, found officers seated.
Which officers?
Well, I think that was the panel members. From the various services, police, NIA, and the army. Among them was the then Director General Harisambu, the then Inspector General of Police, Usman Sonko, and the then COS, the Chief of Staff, Lang Tombong Tamba.
COS, Chief of Staff, Lang Tombong Tamba.
Since they were my seniors, I went, complimented them, then I sat down. But nothing was said. So I thought we were waiting for somebody. Then all of a sudden, Musa Jame, the then principal protective officer, whom I met as I was climbing the stairs with Baba Saho standing, came from behind me and just said, take Ngur and Diba outside. Diba is Musa Diba, who was then the director of admin. I think we traveled around the same time, or I left before him, because he also came around the same time from Kenya. So I forgot when I parked my car, I saw him coming out of the vehicle with Nuru Seka and some officers, all dressed in black. We were both escorted, but I didn't know at that time that we were arrested. They were behind us as if we were escorted. Until we entered the conference hall. So Musa Jame said, take Ngur and Diba outside. I turned around and said, what is happening? But nobody responded. I was escorted with Musa Diba by some soldiers, perhaps 3 or more. We descended the stairs as if going to where used to be the counter-espionage unit. There is some kind of a small roundabout, a garden, a small area. It's a garden. Then I heard somebody running on the stairs and whistled. The officer who was escorting us went back.
Ki nga xamne mo ñu doon gunge nak wuñeku wat.
They whispered and we were asked to come to the conference hall, to the waiting lounge at the reception.
Ci lañ waxtaan tuuti ci seen yorlante ci seen nopp ci lañ wax ne ñu ñëw ci loñ bi.
We sat there for a while, then I was asked to go to the conference hall.
Fa lañ toog ba ab diir ci lañ wax ne ma dem ci conference hall bi.
I was interviewed by the panel.
Ci lañ ma laaj di panel boobu.
Mainly about who approved my leave, why did I go to Germany, why should I go on leave.
Doon ma laaj kan moo yéwénaloon suma dogali dem tukki ak lan moo taxoon ma dem tukki.
Ak lan moo taxoon ma dem Germany.
Ak lan moo taxoon ma dem Germany.
I answered all this.
Ma tontu laajte yépp.
But one question stood out.
Am na benn laajte boo xam ne ni nag bew.
It was Ndur Cham, Colonel Ndur Cham, the former Chief of Staff.
Mbiri Ndur Cham si ki nekkoon si di Chief of Staff.
Who came to the naming ceremony of my child.
ñëwoon ci ngenteeg suma doom ji.
I told them why he came. He was Chief of Staff. He was a colleague.
Ci laa leen wax li tax mu ñëwoon moo nekkoon Chief of Staff.
And I was not even expecting him.
Man sa sentu mo woon ko.
It was Ibrahima Drame who told me he was outside.
Ci la ma Ibrahima Drame moom sax moo ma wax ne mu ngi yoon ci biti.
So I asked him to come in, introduce him to my mom.
Laa ko wax ne mu ñëw ma wanale ko ak suma yaay.
This was my response.
Lii laa leen tontu.
And end of story.
Ci laa jeexal.
Little later, I was asked to write my statement.
Ci lu gàtt nag ci lañ ma wax ne ma bindu sumay kàddu.
I did that.
Ma def ko.
Submitted it.
Jébbale ko.
And I sat there waiting till around 10 a.m. I believe.
Laa toog nag di xaar ba fukki waxtu ci suba.
Two soldiers came.
Ñaari soldaar ñëw.
I was there sitting with the former Speaker of the House, Sirif Mustafa Diba.
maa ngi toogoon foofu ak ki nga xam ne moo nekkoon ki jiite woon néegi député yi Sirif Mustafa Diba.
And Tamsir Jase.
Ak Tamsir Jase.
I didn't know that they were from Mile 2.
xamoon sax ne ñoom ñu ngi jógee ko woon Mile 2.
So the officer said, let's go.
Ci la officer wax ne nañ dem.
And Tamsir asked where.
Ci la Tamsir laaj fan.
He said where you came from.
Fi ngeen jógee ko.
Obviously Mile 2.
Maanaam mooy Mile 2.
Then I got up and said, I'm not from Mile 2, I'm from my house.
Ci la jóg na taxaw ne leen man jógee ko ma Mile 2 man suma kër laa jógee.
What's the decision about me?
Lan mooy dogal bi ci man.
He said, you are all going.
Ci la moo ne yéen ñëpp ay dem.
I just walked past the soldier.
Ci la romb soldaar bi.
Went to the conference hall hoping to find the panel.
Dem ci conference hall bi pour yaakaar ne daan fa fekk panel members yi.
I found only Musa Jammeh sitting.
Musa Jammeh rek laa fa fekk. Ngi toog.
I talked to him this way. Hey, what have you guys decided on me?
Ci laa ko wax ne ko yéen lan ngeen xalaat ci suma mbir.
Then the soldier just held my hand.
Ci la ma soldat bi téye ci loxo.
Dragged me.
Xacc ma.
And I followed him. I just subdued and followed him.
Ci laa jébbal suma bopp rek topp ko.
That was how I was taken to Mile 2.
Noonu lañ ma jëlee yóbbu ma Mile 2.
Were you charged with a crime?
Ndax waxoon nañ la dara ne loolu nga def.
I was not charged, I think, until 6 months later.
Mosuñ may teg benn tuuma ba diirab juróom benn weer gannaaw loolu.
Within that period, were you allowed to see a lawyer?
Ci diggante boobu nangu woon nañ nga gis lawyer.
I had a lawyer's visit. I'm grateful to her by, that was the deputy lead counsel at the time. She visited me. I think she just did that voluntarily. I did not request for it. I think she was just concerned because they were students when I was in Sierra Leone, and we had a cordial relationship at the level of the embassy. She came to Mile 2. I'm not sure whether my sister spoke to her, but I had no idea. She visited me once and said, there is nothing against you. I've checked the records, but you've not been charged. There are no records in the courts. So, but just be patient. We're finding out. That was the only visit I had.
Mon na nag benn nemmeeku benn ci lawyer yi di ki nga xam ne mooy ki topp nag ci lawyer bi jiite ne fii ci bérébu penc mi waxoon na ne ñëwoon na fa daal waaye nag duutoon loo xam ne sax man maa ko sàkku woon man naa ama nag suma jigéen moo ko sàkku woon waaye nag wax na mooy daal naa muñ rek daal.
So in effect, you are not, your right to have a lawyer was not respected. Your right to be taken before a court to sanction your detention was not respected, and you were not brought before the courts within a reasonable period of time.
mu ngi mel ni daal fonkuñ woon sa yelleef ne da nga war a am lawyer bu la taxawal fonkuñ woon sa yelleef ne dañ la war a yóbbu ci kanami court bi ci jamono ji nga xam ne fa lañ la war a yóbbu.
No, it was until after about 6 months that we were charged with conspiracy to commit felony, took us to the magistrate's court in Banjul. We did not even take a plea. We just stood and the charges were read and we were whisked again back to mile 2.
dem na ba gannaaw juróom benn weer ci la ñu teg tuuma bi ñu tegoon nag moo nekk ne déggoo ci loo xam ne ni mën naa indi tefaar waaye nag bañ demee nag ci magistrate bi jëluñ woon sax suñ kàddu yi dogal ndax ñun def nañ wala defuñ waaye nag dañ ko wax rek ci court bi li ñu teg tuuma ñu dolli ñu enuwaat yóbbu ñu mile 2.
I'm not sure if it was after that time that Mrs. Jabi came to mile 2. I'm not sure, but she came there.
xam ndax nag gannaaw loolu la Mrs. Jabi ñëw mile 2 waaye nag ñëw na fa.
Were you subsequently prosecuted of this charge?
gannaaw loolu nag ndax li nga xam ne moom lañ la tuumaloon atte nañ la ci.
No, I was not. I was not prosecuted.
déedéet atte wuñu woon ma.
You were released.
I was released after 15 months.
gannaaw fukki weer ak juróom nag ci lañ ma bàyyi.
And what did you have to do after your release?
biñ la bàyyee loo def.
What did you have to do? Lan lañ la def loo?
We were taken to the then Chief of Staff's office, Langtombong Tamba.
lañ yóbbu ci office Langtombong Tamba.
For what?
For debriefing, they said.
ci waxtaan wa.
We were told to take what happened to us in good faith.
ci la ñu wax nag nañ daal nañu muñ ak li ñu jël li ñu dal ne naanaam ndogal la rek.
Did they pay you compensation?
No, and suggested that we even write to thank the president.
liñ la jàpp fay nañ la ci benn ndàmpaay.
So no compensation.
amul benn ndàmpaañ bu ñu jox.
dañu bindaloo sax leetar.
dañu binduloo leetar sax.
It was a suggestion.
It was a suggestion. And you wrote a letter to the president?
Yeah.
ab xelaat la woon nag sax bu ñu xelal ne daal war nañoo bind leetar ci président bi.
Saying what?
ne ko lan.
To thank him for pardoning us.
ci di ko gërëm ci jéggal bi mu ñu jéggal.
Yeah, that was the norm. We did it, though reluctantly, but we did it.
defoon nañ ko nag ndax loolu moo doon aada ji waaye def nañ ko ci ak tayal waaye nag mujjee nañ ko def.
He violated your rights by unlawfully putting you in jail, and you had to thank him for forgiving you.
yaa na sa yelleef jël la tëj la ci kaso bi te àndut ak benn luwaa ba pare nag ñu ne nag ngeen génn gërëmaat ko ci loolu.
But it wouldn't repeat itself the second time. Even whilst I was in jail, I was asked to write, and I refused.
waaye nag mujjeetu ma ko defaat naam sax maa ngi woon ci kaso waaye nag wax nañ ma def waaye defuma ko.
But the first time round you did?
Yes, I did. Definitely I did.
waaw bu njëkk bi moom defoon naa ko.
And then what happened afterwards?
gannaaw bi lu xew.
In 2008, I was not reinstated. I was appointed as deputy head of mission in an embassy in Bissau.
ci atum 2008 ne ko sax ne dañ ma delloo ci liggéey waaye nag maa nekkoon ki toppoon ci ki jiite yoon wi ñu ebaloon ci Bissau.
And how long did you serve there?
ñaata diir nga fa nekk.
1 year, 6 months. I was appointed in March, I think on the 18th of March 2008, and I was dismissed in November, I think 4th November 2009.
yëpp daal ci ni mu waxee rek lu toll ci at ak juróom-ñetti weer.
Do you know why you were dismissed?
xam nga li taxoon ñu dàq la ci liggéey bi.
No.
déedéet.
Were you given reasons?
waxoon nañ la benn sabab bu war a tax.
No.
déedéet.
Do you know that administratively, if you're dismissed from your job, or any administrative decision taken, you have a right to be given the reasons?
xam nga ne nag ci ni nga xam ne noonu la liggéey bi war a doxee bu fekkee ne génne nañ la ci sa liggéey dañ la war a wax lan moo tax.
I did it not in writing, but I went to the Foreign Affairs after surrendering my passport. Went to the PS, the permanent secretary then, I can't remember his name.
defuma ko nag ci ak mbind waaye mujjee na dem naa ci where please.
In quiet, he told me he was just giving instructions.
laajte nag ci la ma wax rek ne dañ ko jox ndigal.
I went to the personnel management office.
laa dem ci buntu liggéeykaay bi saytu wàllu liggéeykat yi.
The PS then told me it was wrong.
PS bi nag jamono ci la ma wax ne daal loolu dëppwut ak yoon.
Told me he did not see any correspondence to that effect.
ci la ma wax ne daal jotul dara loo xam ne jëm na ci mbir moom.
But advised me in his words to give it a cooling down period or a cooling period. I cannot remember.
ci la ma daal ci la ma yedd nag ci ay kàddoom ne nag naa ko def nag ci anam goo xam ne lu
and he will take it up with the Secretary General.
moom nag dana ko jël ci dana ko jëflante ak Secretary
It was
General.
during that time, around the 16th of December, that I was rearrested.
ci jamono boobu nag fukki fan ak juróom benn si weeru décembre ci lañ ma jàppaat.
What were you accused of this time around?
jamono boobu nag lan lañ la tuumaal.
Treason again.
suufu nguur.
That I was with Lang Tombong and others to overthrow the then regime of President Jammeh.
ne daal dama déggoon ak ñoom ku mel ni ak Lang Tombong pour suufu nguur yi Yaya Jammeh.
Who are the witnesses against you?
ñan ñoo seede yi nga xam ne ñoo ko taxawoon di la tuumaal.
Rui Jabi Gassama.
Rui Jabi Gassama.
Kabiru
Sedi.
And Ibrahima Mare.
Ak Ibrahima Mare.
Did you know these people before?
xamoon nga ñooñu balaa loolu.
Kabiru Sedi I know before.
Kabiru Sedi moom xamoon naa ko balaa lii.
How about the others?
ñeneen ñi nag.
The others I don't know.
ñeneen ñi moom xamoon leen.
Did you ever hear the name Rui Jabi Gassama before that?
mosoon nga déggatul Rui Jabi Gassama balaa loolu.
Before I was arrested.
balaa maa jàpp.
One day I came to Banjul, I think a week before my arrest.
lu dem si diira bés bu balaa maa jàpp.
I went to the brother of Alaji Moore.
laa dem si mag wala rakk Alaaji Moore.
Came from Germany and I went to visit him.
ku jógee ko Germany ma dem pour seeti ko.
Alaji Moore, what's his official name?
Idrissa Diop, sorry.
Idrissa Diop nag la tudd.
Whilst I was there, I called him, in fact, Babu, his brother called him that I was there.
Brother nag Babu moom moo ko ne maa ngi fa.
But he said he was busy, he didn't come.
ci la wax ne daal loxo ma ngi jàppoon jamono boobu ñëwut.
As I was leaving, I called him.
ci bi ma doon génn nag ci laa ko oo.
For something personal.
ci loo xam ne daal suñ mbiri bopp la.
Whilst in my car,
ci suma biir oto bi nag.
he asked me if I know Jabi Gassama, not Rui Jabi Gassama, Jabi Gassama.
ci la ma laaj ndax xam naa Jabi Gassama waaye du Rui Jabi Gassama.
I told him no, I've never heard that name before.
laa ko wax déedéet mosuma dégg tur boobu.
And on suspecting,
ci njottal nag.
I did not suspect anything.
te jottuma dara itamit.
He asked me if I had any problems with the embassy staff in Bissau.
ci la ma laaj ndax dama am benn jafe-jafe boo xam ne ni am naa ko ak ñuy liggéey ci embassy bi ci Bissau.
I told him no, not as far as I know.
ci laa ko wax déedéet ci li nga xam ne loolu laa xam.
And I think we end the conversation.
yaakaar naa daal foofu lañ jeexaloo waxtaan wa.
That was the day I heard about Rui Jabi Gassama.
bés boobu na laa dégg lu jëm ci mbiri
Until when I was arrested.
jamono biñ ma jàppee.
I think a day or two afterwards, I was confronted with him.
bés wala ñaar ci laa jàkkaarloo moom.
First during an identification parade.
ci bu njëkk nag ci rangale goo xam ne ni dañ doon jéem a pour ràññee kenn.
He came and identified me without knowing exactly what was it for.
ci la ñëw nag ràññee ma te xamoon pour lan la.
Then we went into the conference room, the investigation room where the panel was sitting.
lañ dem nag ci conference room bi ci fi nga xam ne ni gëstukat yi fa lañ nekk.
He started accusing me of things I had no idea about, that I was having a meeting with him, I bought drugs from him, I owe him $10,000. I thought I was dreaming.
di ma tuumaal loo xam ne daal mosuma ko xam ne jënd naa si moom sinébar ak maa ngi doon ak yeneen yoo xam ne daal dafa mel ni maa ngi doon gént sax.
At some point I stopped him and said, I think this guy is talking to the wrong person.
ci laa ko taxawal sax dana leen kii dafa mel ni sax ki muy wax daal du ki.
But the head of the panel of investigation at the time, I think, was Solo Boyd. I think that was when I know his name.
ki nga xam ne moo jiite woon na gestu boobu di Solo Bojang mooy waxtu bi nga xam ne xam naa turam.
just retorted by saying, allow him to talk.
ci la wax ne ma may ko mu wax.
And I allowed him to say whatever he wanted to say.
ci la ko bàyyi mu wax mboolem loo xam ne loolu la
I was
bëggoon a wax.
asked to go and write a statement.
ci lañ ma waxoon nag ci la pour ma dem bind ab statement.
I did that based on questions they asked me to answer.
ma def ko nag wér ko rek ci tontu yi nga xam ne ni laajte yi ma waroon a laa waroon a tontu.
I did that and gave it to them.
ci laa ko def la jox leen ko.
Then I was already detained. I was arrested on either a Friday or Thursday, but I was there throughout till Monday when this thing happened.
boobu nag fekk jàpp nañ ma sax xam nga ndax aljuma la waaye nag nekk naa fa ba altine bi lii di am.
So after writing my statement, I was returned to the cell.
gannaaw bu ma bindee nag suma statement ci lañ ma delloo ci cell gi.
About a month later,
gannaaw weer gannaaw loolu.
I was again cautioned.
daldi woon nañ ma tegaati tamit.
This time, one Sergeant Noor wrote my statement.
bii nag ku ñu xamee Sadio Ndour moo bind suma statement.
I learned that he passed away. May his soul rest in peace.
yëg naa nag ne fi mu nekk nii jiitu na yal na ko yàlla yërëm.
He was my squad mate.
suma àndandooroon ci liggéey bi ñoo doorandoor liggéey.
And I trusted him.
te ku ma óolu la woon.
I asked him to write my statement.
ci laa ko wax nag mu bind suma statement.
He did that, and there was a guy sitting whom I thought was just a staff of the NIA.
am na koo xam ne mu ngi toogoon nag koo xam ne daal njortoon naa ne liggéey ci NIA la.
He was brought in as an independent witness.
yëpp nag ndeke moom dañ ko indiwoon rek pour mu nekk independent witness.
All the same, I was charged with treason.
ak nu mu demee daal dañ ma tegoon tuuma ne dama doon suufu nguur.
In January, either 6th or so, or 10th, I was taken to Mile 2.
January nag juróom-benn fan wala fukki fan daal ñu ma yóbbu ma Mile 2.
Your investigations, did it only involve being asked questions and statements written?
Gëstu yi ñu doon def ci sa mbir ndax ay laajte lañ la doon laaj rek ak nga bind statement.
No, I skipped something. The first night I was there,
am na lu ma tëb nag guddi gu njëkk bi ma nekkee foofu.
I was opened from the cells. I think it was late at night.
dañ ma génne woon ci cell bi yaakaar naa boobu guddi na.
So I remember I was in deep sleep.
ndax boobu maa ngi doon nelaw.
So I was taken to the conference hall.
lañ ma yóbbu ci conference hall bi.
Upstairs.
ci kaw.
And I found about 5 soldiers.
fa laa fekk na lu dem ci
Later
juróomi
I
soldat.
came to know that they were soldiers from the State Guard.
laa yëg di xam sax mu jéegi ne ñoom ñu ngi jógee ko woon State Guard.
I found them putting this carton of wine, Don Simon wine, green carton.
boobu nag maa ngi fekk ñu ngi teg carton goo xam ne ni carton yi lii ni la sangara tubaab yi wine.
And eating meat.
boobu ñu ngi lekk ndawal.
As soon as they saw me,
biñ ma gisee rek.
they asked the guard who escorted me
ci lañ wax guard bi nga xam ne moo ma indi.
to take me out. Why should I be brought in?
mu ñu génne ma ci biir ndax lu tax ñu indi ma foofu.
He said, you asked me to bring him.
mu leen wax ne yéen a ma wax ne ma indi ko.
But I was taken outside
waaye ci lañ ma génne ci biti.
and allowed to sit outside.
ci lañ ma wax ne ma dem ci laa toog ci biti.
Shortly afterwards, they came, put the lights off.
tuuti rek ñu ñëw taal lamp bi. ñu fay lampa yi sorry.
Then took me to the conference hall.
ñu yóbbu ma ci conference hall bi.
Sat me down on the floor.
ñu teg ma ci suuf si.
Tied my hands behind me.
ak suma loxo yi ci gannaaw.
As soon as they did that, I almost blacked out.
biñ ko defee rek daanaka ma xum.
Then one of them asked the one tying me to loosen the knot.
kenn ci ñoom nag mu wax ne nañ mu yoxamal ni ma takkee.
Then I regained consciousness.
ma dolli jotaat suma bopp.
They put a plastic bag on me.
ñu jël mbuusi nylon solal ma
One
ko.
of them held it
kenn ci ñoom téye ko.
very tightly.
bu dëgër.
One held my shoulders.
kenn bës suma mbagg yi.
One stood on my legs.
kenn taxaw ci sumay tànk.
And one was hitting my head.
kenn ki nekk di ma dóor ci bopp.
This happened for about 3 minutes or so.
lii na dem na ba lu dem ci ñetti minutes.
Then the same guy who asked the other officer to loosen the knot, to asking them to stop.
ki nga xam ne moo waxoon ne ñu wàññi yoxamal nag ceene gi mu wax ne ñu bàyyi.
I later knew him to be Noah Baji, Lieutenant Noah Baji.
gannaaw loolu ci laa xam ne kooku mooy Noah Badji Lieutenant Noah Badji.
He asked me to to sit on a particular bench
ci la wax na ma toog na ci benn toogu
and gave me a bottle of natural water.
ci la ma jox nag benn butéeli ndox.
And I asked him, why were they doing this to me? Because all they were asking me was whether you know Lang Tombong. Have you been calling him?
daa ko wax na lu tax ñu may def lii ndax liñ ma doon laaj rek mooy ndax xam naa Lang Tombong.
He said, no, don't worry, take it in good faith. So I couldn't understand. I was very bitter. Then they escorted me back to the cells.
They tortured you?
Yeah, they tortured me.
Wow. Did they get what they wanted from you?
I don't know. Nothing they were asking me, apart from, yes, I know Lang Tombong. Yes, I know his number. And what? Apart from that, I know nothing about what they were asking me. And I think he was conscious of the fact that I was innocent, maybe. Then he asked me to sit up and started consoling me.
After brutalizing you?
Yes.
Wow. But this is the hypocrisy of the people who participated in these things. But we will come back to this. Did they let you go, even knowing that you did not do anything?
It was afterwards that they brought from Rui Jabi Gassama, saying all those things that he said.
Pardon me for taking you a step backwards. Among your torturers, you mentioned Noah Baji as the person directing the torture. Do you remember who else participated in this cowardly act?
I couldn't remember, but whilst in mile 2, because I don't even know any of them at that time. But there was a group. I remember one of them, when he walks, he tiptoes, he walks on his toes. When I saw one guy who was brought in mile 2 called Jalo, I thought in my mind that this was the guy who in fact was tying me. They were about 4 brought in around the same time. Bailo, Sang Gomez, Michael Correa, and this Jallo guy. Since they were 5, including Noah, because the one who was hitting was black. He definitely resembles Bai. I cannot say for certain that it was him. I had in my mind that these were the people who were torturing me. But Noah, I recognize him. He had white spots or whatever they were on his eyes. That was how I recognized him. When he came before, was it the day I was interviewed by the panel, I saw him enter, then I knew it was him. But I really don't know them, apart from him.
Was that the only time you were tortured?
Yes, that was the only time.
And then what happened afterwards?
Then, like I said, I was taken to an identification parade. Subsequently, my statements were taken. I was charged and returned to mile and taken to mile 2. And
you were subsequently prosecuted?
Yes, I was prosecuted, and I was convicted and sentenced to death.
What do you say about the evidence that was produced before this commission, showing that Rui Jabi Gassama, Ibrahim Amare, and somebody else were paid lots of monies by the state. As at the time you were prosecuted.
Ibrahim Amare ak ñeneen dañ leen fay xaalis bu bari pour ñu ñëw daal tuumal leen.
No, as at the time you were being prosecuted.
Ci jamono ji nga xam ne ñu ngi la doon àtte.
I definitely had a feeling that, because I said it in court, that I was framed. I had a feeling that something has happened that was out of the ordinary. And I said in court that time will tell. And I also told my lawyer that I've heard what the judge said, but I've not heard what Allah said. That this will come to pass. Afterwards, I was told by my brother that Alaji Moore told him that these people were paid. As I was still in jail.
Suma brother wax na ma ne ma Alaji Moore wax na ko ne ñii dañ leen fayoon.
I would not have believed that they can go to that extent.
Mënu woon a gëm sax ne mën nañoo àgg foofu.
Because I couldn't reconcile really what was happening. This disturbed me really mentally. Because I was trying to get sense out of what exactly was happening. And each time you ask them, they will tell you, take it in good faith.
You felt bad?
Very bad, absolutely.
For yourself?
Yes, for myself and any other person who must have, in one way or the other, gone through this.
Wow,
but this was normal.
I wouldn't call it normal, really, as far as my knowledge starts, but implicating people.
Let's not say it was not normal. No, let's say it was frequent.
Yes and no. Yes, definitely yes.
It cannot be yes and no.
Yes, in the sense that
you remember Abdullah Kujabi?
Yes, very well.
You worked with him?
Yes, I did.
Wow. He was at one time your boss?
Yes.
What happened to him?
He was equally framed. He told me whilst we were in hospital.
Not only was he framed, he was tortured.
He was tortured, yes.
Brutalized.
Brutalized, yes, he told me.
And you were in fact in hospital almost at the same time?
Yes.
He almost lost his life?
Yes, definitely.
On some fanciful, unfathomable, how would I call it, accusation?
Yeah, yeah.
Shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But not only him.
Yeah, the extent, if I may.
But Daba Marena.
Yeah.
Not only was he framed and jailed, they were extrajudicially killed.
That is true.
But not only those, a whole lot more.
That is correct, Counsel.
Those you were arrested with, in the first instance, were badly framed and tortured.
That is correct.
How would you characterize the regime that we had in place at the time?
Perhaps I would call it a mercenary regime. A regime that would not help its citizens.
Dr. Sen called it a vampire state, a military vampire state that consumed its own people.
There may not be a very the right adjective to describe really what was happening.
And the NIA played a central role. That is correct.
In all this.
While many of you did not participate in it, you lived with it in silence, whereas others suffered. You remember Musa Job. What happened to him?
One day, as I was coming from my office to the investigation department,
information department,
when he was brought there for a particular investigation, he was not detained. I think he was just there for his statement to be obtained. He either came to report bail, either or. So I met him down. He told me in Wolof.
You see what these people did to me. They stripped me naked and tortured me.
Right there, I called the officers. In his presence. They denied it. And I told him there and then, don't come here anymore. There were, it's difficult to explain what was happening. There was no command and control at a certain level.
But Mr. Seka, there was, of course, command and control. There was an institution that was managed in a way that torture was used as a tool to achieve their own objectives. That is what was the situation.
I will not dispute, Council. It's a fact.
And in the NIA, the person who would come and tell you, oh, my brother, I'm sorry, guidance is the person who would lock you up and push you in.
NIA na fexe fa nek moy dañuy ñew légui né la yow bul faale bul ragal bul tit muñal rek té ñoom seen bop ñoy sabab ñu ñew tej la.
It could be true, yes.
Yeah, mën na nek deug de.
And in fact, it's true. They could be very nice to you when in actual fact, because I will take example from myself.
Yeah.
The day I was brought in, it was Alaji Moore who came and sat next to me. When I was dealt with, it was the same Alaji Moore who came and sat next to me. And told me lu ñaaw lañ la bëggoon a def.
And told me that
how did he know?
Something bad to me.
But
so I can definitely concur with exactly what you are saying. That was the situation.
Those that did the torture, those that acquiesced, and those that kept silence are all in the same boat. The NIA, the institution of torturers. You agree?
I agree to a certain level, but I agree.
How do you feel about all this? Do you have any regrets?
Regret might be too strong a word. Perhaps in my conscience, I did not do anything wrong, but I feel very bad and very sorry for everybody who has, in one way or the other, gone through this.
Réccut nak dana nek baat bu diis ndax amu dara loo xam ne nii def naa ko lu ma ci mën a toppal ak réccute waaye nag métti yoon na ma nag ti yeneen yi nga xam ne am na ci ñu del.
In my capacity as a human being and as an officer of the NIA and at some point as a commander, I tried to stop everything that I can humanly stop with my mouth, with my hand, and sometimes I detest.
Si suma maqamam doomu adama ak itamen ne maa ngi liggéey ci NIA gi te itamen kilifa laa foon.
You seem to be quoting from the Quran, but all the same, Mr. Seka, we could say that if the officers at the NIA refused to torture, there certainly would not have been tortures at the NIA.
Absolutely, with all honesty.
Morally, you are all responsible. No further questions, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Council.
Mr. Chair, before we close, like I promised, I would want to exhibit his statement because it's more detailed and we skipped some detail just because we wanted to finish his testimony on time. So, with your permission, I would ask that his statement be exhibited. And it should be, if accepted, exhibit 200 and 200A.
200 and 200A?
No, sorry, 200A.
200A.
Yes, 200 is the almighty list.
Yes, I know. Almighty. Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm sorry,
Council.
sometimes I
And thank you, Mr. Seka, for coming to testify.
Mr. Seka,
You are welcome, Chairman.
Let me take you back to the list of the 51 people listed here. How many escaped the slaughter?
Ci juroom fukki tour yi ak benn yi nga xam ne moom nga fi joxe ñii ñan ñoo rëcca rey boobu nga xam ne moom lañ rey seeni morom.
I wouldn't know, Chairman.
Dugg mun a xam loolu de, Chairman.
Council, you have any idea? Is it just one survivor?
Martin Kieri?
Yes. Is he the only survivor on this list?
I wouldn't know, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
We understand that another person escaped. I have to try to establish that name.
Yeah, I thought we were told only one escaped. But
yes, but that would be number 15.
Yes, that's number 15.
Martin Kieri.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Thank you very much indeed again for coming to testify.
Jërëjëf beneen yoon li nga nangoo ñëw pour joxe fi sa seede.
You are welcome, Chairman.
This is the third time that we are being confronted with the issue of mass murder by the regime. First, the one that we looked at was the April 2000 killing of young students. On October 12th, 2019, when we concluded our proceedings on that theme, we offered special prayers of the Commission to those individuals. On December 5th, 2019,
December 2019,
we offered similar prayers to close to 40 innocent people who were killed during the presidential alternative treatment program, HIV/AIDS. They were innocent individuals who were afflicted with a deadly disease. And their desire was to get them a cure. And some fellow who comes out with some egotistical vanity Says he's found a cure for their disease.
Na mom day amna faj pour sen febar bobu len dal.
Who can be more innocent than those afflicted with the disease?
Ñooñu nak ñoom xamuñ ci dara ñoom ñi nga xam ne ñoom la febar bi daloon.
You take them through a program that was fabricated. It was false.
Nga jël dugal leen ci programme boo xam ne sos rek la ëmba.
And they end up dying either during the program or shortly after leaving the program.
Te ca mujjanteel ga lan lañ ci jëlee ñàkk ci seen bakkan jamono ji ñoo faju wala bañ génnee rek ca faju ba.
Now we are dealing yet again with another mass murder.
Léegi nag fi mu nekk nii tam ñu ngi jëflante ak beneen rey gu bari goo xam ne amoon na ci réew mi.
Again, innocent young Africans.
Ben tey de ay doomi ndaw yoo xam ne waa Afrika lañ.
Whose only crime was just being ambitious in a poor situation and getting involved in becoming victims of human traffickers.
ñoo xam ne ñoom xelaat kenn gu rëy lañ doon demee rek ñu far tënku ci mbir moo xam ne ci lañ jëlee roraange yooyu.
Who can be more innocent than a poor kid wanting to better his life?
kan nag mooy ki nga xam ne moo xamul dara ci koo xam ne ndaw la rek koo xam ne mu ngi doon dem pour uti loo xam ne dina gën a yëwénal dundaam.
It probably took them a wrong decision to move around and become victims of human traffickers, but that was not their fault.
xëy na xalaat biñ jël rek mooy waruñ woon a jaar ci yoon wiñ jaar waaye loolu tamit ba tey nag warutoon a tax ñu ñàkk ci seen bakkan.
Traffickers dumped them on the beaches of the Gambia.
ñu rey leen sànni leen ci ñi nga xam ne ñoo leen doon bëgg a yóbbu ñu jël leen sànni leen ci tefesi Gambia bi.
Instead of helping them out of the situation that they were in,
ñu bañ leen a dimbale ci anam yi nga xam ne ci lañ toll woon jamono boobu.
you corralled them into your police stations and the detention areas and slaughtered them.
jël leen yóbbu leen ci seen police station yi ak béréb yi ñu leen teg benn place mujjanteel gi ñu dal di leen rey.
I hope God would save us all. And for these innocent individuals, we will offer special prayers as well. Just as we did them for the April 2000 victims. And the presidential treatment victims as well.
Imam,
if you have the floor, can you please go ahead and offer some prayers? And then Bishop would come in.
Thank you, Chair. I will have to say part of this prayer in English because most of the victims are non-Gambians. I feel very much moved by what we have heard today, and the whole world is listening. It is very sad that an innocent country, a country that is so good, will have huge vampires living amongst us and creating such havoc on innocent lives. This is sad. But we say sorry to all those people who have suffered this fate, particularly those who are non-Gambians. The majority of these people are non-Gambians. Surely this is not a Gambian way of life. These are few evil people who have survived amongst us, who have been used as tools to kill and torture and destroy lives. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun. Let us all pray in our own way. Let us all pray in our own way so that these innocent lives will rest in the hands of God in paradise. And then I will conclude the prayer with the Islamic way of prayer. Bismillah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد بحرمة اللهم فصل وسلم وبارك على هذا النبي الكريم
سيدي سند العظيم ذو القلب الرحيم سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Shukran, Imam. Bishop, can you help us with some prayers for these 51 innocent, 50 innocent young Africans?
Thank you, Chairman. Rest eternal grant unto them, O Lord, and let the light perpetual shine upon them. Gracious and eternal Father, thou who knowest all things, thou who knowest the secret of the hearts of humankind, on that fateful day, the 23rd of July, 2005, so many young, innocent lives were slaughtered due to no fault of theirs. Father, we ask that of your divine mercy, your divine grace, that you shall receive each and every one of them into your land of paradise. We submit their relatives, their parents, their brothers and their sisters to you, those who suffer the loss of these innocent lives. Father, it is only you in your goodness and in your mercy that can give them your consolation and your comfort. Now that it is now clear to them that these, their relations, were slaughtered in this land, this innocent land, the land that is good to so many foreigners, the land that accommodate a lot of foreigners. Father, we say, have mercy upon this land, that this unfortunate incident happened in 2005. We know, Lord, that the blood of all those who were slaughtered cried unto you, and you have responded. We submit their killers, those who massacred them. We submit all of them under your throne, under your grace. It is you who takes vengeance. Vengeance belongs unto you. Also, Lord, we say, console the hearts of their loved ones, their parents, their siblings. Console the nations from which they come from. And Lord, we pray that by your Holy Spirit, you will grant reconciliation among us and those nations. Because these were done not by the volition of the people of the land. And so we ask for mercy. We ask for forgiveness. And we ask for reconciliation. This we ask through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Bishop, and thank you, Imam, for those prayers for these 50 people who were slaughtered on our soil here.
jërëjëf Imam, jërëjëf Bishop ci ñaan yi nga xam ne ñaanal ngeen ko juróom fukki nit ak benn yi nga xam ne ñu ngi leen royee fii ci suñu biir réew mi.
The massacre of these 50 West African migrants.
rey gi nga xam ne moom nañ rey juróom fukki nit yi nga xam ne ñu ngi bàyyi ko Afrique sow jant nekkoon ci yooni tukki.
As I indicated, is the third such mass killing.
wane naa fi ne bii mooy ñetteeli façon yi rey yi nga xam ne rey leen ko fii ci réew mi.
We have been mandated to create an impartial historical record of these violations and abuses.
li ñu sant nag mooy ñu feeñal fii loo xam ne ci wàlli taarix amul benn parloo boo xam ne ci lañ ciy sukkandiku.
Between July 1994 and January 2017.
la ko dalee July 1994 ba December 2017.
In order to, among other things, address impunity.
li yëpp nag ñu boole ci yeneen yoo xam ne dañ koo feeñal ci li nga xam ne mooy liggéey bi.
Commission would reach its conclusion on these and other violations from human rights and abuses during the period.
dinañ ci joxe seen ndigal lu aju ci yaaka yellef bi nga xam ne moo doon am ci diir bi nga xam ne moom lañ ñu sant pour ñu gistu ko.
One quick question for you, witness. Did you give this list to anyone before? Or has anyone seen it when the UN and the AU visitors came here, the teams that came here? Have you shown this list to anybody else?
seede bi ndax won nga tur yi nga bind nii won nga ko kenn ndax ñi nga xam ne ñu bàyyi ko ci mbootaay xeet wi tam biñ ñëwee ndax gisoon nañ ko.
No, Chairman, I was not opportune to meet them.
So the TRRC is the only entity in possession of this list?
Apart from the keeper, nobody saw this list.
Chairman,
nobody knew I had it.
bu mu yee ki ma ko dénkoon amul kenn ku ko yëg ne sax amee woon naa ko kenn gisut ko itamit.
As far as I know. I did not see
When
it.
you say the keeper, who do you have in mind?
The person who was keeping it for me.
waaye nit ki nga xam ne moom laa ko dénkaane woon.
But he doesn't even...
And that individual did not share it with anyone?
No, definitely no.
Thank you very much again for your testimony and for coming to assist us in fulfilling our mandate.
jërëjëf li nga ñëw pour joxe sa seede jàppale ñu tam pour ñu mën a matal li ñoo liggéey.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, please indicate. Imam C, you have the floor, please.
Jibril Seka, jërëjëf ñu ngi lay gërëm.
Jibril Seka, thank you very much. We are thanking you.
Leeral bi nga leeral nii.
Your statement here, or your...
surtout tur yi nga feeñal nii.
especially the list of these people.
yi nga xamante ne dina aduna bi yëpp a ko seede.
And the whole world witnesses.
seen kumpa la xool.
It was something that they never know of.
surtout mbokkam yi nga xamante ne yëpp dégg nañ seen mbokk naka lañ demee.
Especially the relatives of those who went.
dégg nañ seen tur.
They had their names.
lii ñu ngi la cay gërëm.
We are thanking you very much.
ni nga ko fankee denc ko ba time bi.
The way you save it up to this time.
ñaareel bi laajte bi mooy.
The second thing, which is the correction, is
néew yi ngeen fekkoon foofu.
the dead bodies that you found there.
ndax ay góor la rek wala amoon na ay jigéen.
Was it only male or there's one at least female there?
jërëjëf Imam.
Imam, thank you very much.
ñu ngi sant yàlla.
We are thanking God.
du suñ ndimbal du suñ mbaax du suñ dara yàlla rek moo ñu dimbale ba lii ñu mun koo sàmm.
Not our effort or anything, it's only God that helped us to save this up to this time.
waaye pour tontu sa laajte bi gisuma fa benn jigéen.
To answer your correction, there was no female.
Thank you very much. Mr. Seka, if you have any concluding remarks to make, please proceed to do so now. And if you can
Seka,
sorry. Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman Jerejef.
Thank you, Mr. Seka, for your testimony.
Mr. Seka Jerejef, Sisa Sede.
I say sorry for what happened to you.
Man la wax masanak ci li nga xamne ni dal na la.
Just have a simple question.
Ben laajte bu ndaw rek la am.
How did your victimization affect your family?
Ci toroxal giñ la toroxal naka la def ci sa njaboot.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Ka.
Jërëjëf Commissioner Ka.
very badly.
Metti na lool.
If I am to describe the way it affects my family, perhaps I may be emotional.
Suma bëggee wax naka la gàllankoore suma njaboot suma xol mën na fee tooy.
One of my kids is out of school.
Kenn si suma doom yi génnoon na jàng.
My wife was renting at the time I was arrested.
Suma jabar mu ngi doon luyaas si jamono bi nga xam ne ma jàppoon.
For that matter.
Kenn si ñoom.
She was being evicted from one compound to the other.
Dañ ko daan génne si genn kër dem ci geneen kër.
For 5.5 years.
Lu dem si diirab juróomi at ak genn wàll.
So it has affected them badly.
Kon nag gàllankoor na leen
Not to
bu baax
talk
a baax.
about my mom
waxuma
and
nag
the extended family.
rax sa dolli nag suma yaay ak ñeneen ñi nga xam ne ay mbokk
I
lañu.
was the sole breadwinner.
Ndax man nag ma gàddu woon
2
seen
wives
mbir.
and lots of kids, mashallah.
maa ngi amoon ñaari soxna ak ay doom masha Allah.
But thank God,
waaye sant yàlla.
when I see them, I am proud of them.
su ma leen gisee nag dekk naa ñoo xam ne puugaroo naa leen.
Maybe I will talk about that when I am giving my...
man naa ma danaa wax nag loolu gannaaw boo xam ne maa ngi wax sumay kàddu yi.
If that has answered your question.
su fekkee loolu tontu na sa laajte.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Emma. You may now proceed with your concluding remarks, if you can make them brief. Thank you.
I will crave your indulgence to speak in Wolof. I really want to be very explicit, and I'm not as articulate as Mr. Chairman, but I want to...
kàddu yi mujj yi nga xam ne moom laa wax di ay kàddu yi ngeen dénkaane daf ko bëgg a wax si angale pour mu si olof ngir mu gën a wéral si ay leeral ndax nag lim bëgg a wax daal mooy wolof la ko bëgg a làkk.
ñu ngi nuyu ñëpp.
We are greeting everyone.
ñu ngi jiital nuyu bi si chairman.
First to the chairman.
suñ ko nuyoo rek yóbbaale na ñëpp.
When greeting chairman, it means we have greeted everyone.
waaye dañ bëgg a delluwaat rek gërëm Hadi parce que mu ngi si seen biir ngir jéego bi mu jël parce que lawyers yu bari at that time ñeme ñun pour ñëw.
Special thanks to Hadi who is within their midst, and during that time many of these lawyers were scared of it.
waaye nag ñu ngi njëkk a sant yàlla.
We are thanking God.
julli si yonent bi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Based on to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
sant suñu waajur yi.
We thank our parents.
ci yar bi ñu yar.
The discipline inculcated in us.
rawatina dañu daan wax ne buñ fen.
Especially we were taught not to tell lies.
ñu ngi sant yàlla di sant suñu waajur yi ci loolu.
Praising God and our parents.
ñu ngi sant nag suñ soxna yi la nga xam ne juróomi at ak genn wàlla.
We are also thanking our wives who have at least 5.5 years.
ñu ngi toog di ñu xaar.
Waiting for us.
mu métti lool.
And it was very painful.
lool sax.
Very, very painful.
ñii di la daw.
Some people avoiding you.
ngir sa jëkkër dafa am luñ ko tuumal.
Because your husband is accused of something.
waaye ñu toog di muñ.
But they were waited.
lépp lu ma daan lekk ci biir kaso bi.
All what I was eating in the cells.
parce que yàlla daf ma nattoo woon mënuma lekk bi woon ci kaso bi.
Because I couldn't eat what was cooked at the prison.
li ci ëpp yëpp dañ daan jéem luñ mun ba fexe ñu am luñ lekk pour mun a dunda.
They were trying all their best to make sure that they survive.
rawati nag yar gi ñu yar suñ njaboot si suñ gannaaw.
Especially the discipline they inculcated to our children and when we are not away, when we were away.
am na jamono boo xam ne sax dañ jël risque téléphone leen dañ daan wax ak téléphone dañ daan amee téléphone saa yu ne.
There was a time we took a risk and spoke to them.
téléphone leen ba pare ne leen nañ ko def speaker.
And asked them to put it on speaker.
ñu baalu leen àq baalu suñ njaboot gi yëpp àq.
To apologize to them and our all families.
parce que waroon nañoo nekk ak ñoom ci jamono yooyu.
Because we should have been with them at that time.
waaye yàlla dogalu ko.
But it was not bestowed by God.
bon ñu ngi leen a gërëm.
And then we are thanking them.
di ñaan yàlla mu fayal ñu leen.
And we pray to God to reward them for us.
suñ family suñ immediate family.
Our immediate family.
rawatina suma mag bu jigéen.
Especially my elder sister.
moom léegi-léegi sax dañ ma daan wax ne waxalal sa mag ji parce que moom bakkanam la ci tegoon am na jamono.
Sometimes they used to tell me, advise your sister because he is even risking her life.
ñoom mosuñoo gëm li ñu wax ci ñun.
They never believe in what we were accused of.
ci diir bi yëpp ñu ngi ànd ak ñun di muñ di jànkuwanteeg naxar.
All that period they were with us with pains.
waaye yal na leen yàlla fay.
May God reward them.
suma rakk yaay yi suma magi yaay yi góor ak jigéen.
My stepsisters, my aunties.
suma papa yi suma magi papa yi suma rakki papa yi extended family bi.
My uncles and everybody, all the extended family members.
waaye dafa am kenn ku ci nekk koo xam ne suma doomi tanta la Esa moo suma rakka Mikael.
Especially Mikael.
ma Esa. lépp lu ma soxla ci biir.
All what I needed inside.
ci wàllu lekk ci wàllu ñaan lépp lu ma soxloon ñoo ko doon daw.
He will take care of it.
maa am suma xarit boo xam ne tamit mu ngi ci suñ biir.
I have a friend who is also in our midst.
waaye bis ma mënoon a tudda seen tur.
I wish I could list their names.
suma tante Hadiyaka Ummi yal na ko yàlla yërëm bi ngeen maa njëkk a oo. moom dafa fekk bi maa njëkk a oo moom keroog la gaañu.
The day I was first called, that's the time he passed on.
yàlla dogal mënumaa ñëw.
That was the day I
jël na ko yàlla yërëm jégal ko te xare ko àjjana.
May Allah forgive her.
Faat Sarr Aji Mbaccu Nafi Seck Mikaalu ñoom ñëpp yal na leen yàlla fay.
Aji Mbaccu Mikaalu, may God reward them.
suma njaboot gi nag mënuma leen a fay.
I cannot pay my.
bi ma génnee amit jamono bi waxtu bi ma nekk ci biti yëpp bi ma génnee jàppaat nañ ma comme seen papa.
The time I was out, when I come back, they still take me as their father.
mënoon nañoo mel neneen.
They could have been something
waaye ñu ngi
else.
sant yàlla ci loolu.
But we are thanking God for that.
ñu ngi sant it képp koo xam ne gëmoon na ne li ñu tuumal du dëgg.
We are thanking all those who didn't believe all what we were accused of that it is not true.
te di ñaan yàlla.
And pray for God.
lii nga xam ne moo fi xewoon.
All what happened in the past.
yàlla bu mu fi xewati.
May it never happen again.
xëj na du rëccu waaye mun naa doon rëccu waaye ñu ngi ñaan suñ mënoon a wécc li xew. def ko leneen lu gën li xewoon dinañ ko def.
Change what happened, we change it.
ñu ngi massawu nag ñëpp.
We are sorry for all.
ñi nga xam ne si suñ biir liggéey tooñ nañ leen.
Those who were
ñu yëg ko mbaa ñu ñàkk koo yëg.
We known or unknown.
mbaa ñu nekkoon si suñu ron tooñ leen.
Or those who were subordinate.
ñu ngi leen a baalu àqa.
We are apologizing.
ñu ngi leen a baalu àqa bu jógee si suñ xol.
We are apologizing.
te di ñaan yàlla mu ne leen xoli muñ.
And pray that
yàlla fay leen li ngeen tooñ.
and God reward them to what we
li ñu dénku rek nit ñi mooy.
What we are advising the people is.
nañ mandu si suñ diggante. nañ mandu si suñ diggante.
We have to be honest in our relationships.
We have to be honest in our relationship. And in mandu.
Wow, ñu mandu si suñ diggante.
Okay, yes.
Ba pare ñu yéene wante jàmm.
And we pray for each other peace.
Te bàyyi yàqante bi.
We wish peace for each other.
jox kenn ku nekk li ñu yelloo.
And give each other all what one deserves.
kenn ku nekk ñu jox la sa àq ak sa yelleef.
And protect everyone's right.
li ñu indi ci fii yëpp.
All what brought us here.
mooy suñ ngëm ci yàlla dafa des.
Is that our
faith in God is much less than what it should be.
Yes.
Bon yal na yàlla wéral suñ ngëm.
God excel our faith.
yéen it yàlla digaral seeni taxawaay.
May also God help you people.
li ngeen sombo pour def yal na leen ci yàlla dimbale.
May God help you to complete this commission.
mënuñoo lim ñëpp.
We cannot list everyone.
waaye daal ñu ngi sant yàlla.
But we are thanking God.
di jeexalee suñ kaddu.
And we are concluding by
di ñaan yàlla.
praying for
ci mbaaxam ak yërmandem.
through His mercy.
mu feeñal dëgga.
To reveal the truth.
te yaakaar naa ne dina am insha Allah.
And I believe that it will happen
ربنا
inshallah.
افتح بيننا وبين قومنا بالحق وأنت خير الفاتحين
inshallah.
قل جاء الحق وزاء الباطل إن الباطل كان زهوقا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Alaikum assalam.
Thank you again very much, Mr. Seka, for coming to testify.
Mr. Seka, jërëjëf rek ci ñi nga
That
ñëwee
brings us to the
pour àggale
end
sa
of our
kàddu.
proceedings for today. We will resume on Monday, sharp 10 o'clock, Monday morning. And we will continue with our theme for this 3-week session on the West African migrants. So that's the end of our proceedings for today. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much.